Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper of Viperland, and I'm back here. Not only do we have the new chapter, but apparently that last chapter unlocked some other stuff. So I'm gonna keep going in order, but we have unlocked Reincarnation, which is apparently just a start. We've unlocked short stories, which I won't hit because it immediately starts it. I found that out earlier, so I had to close the game and immediately restart it. So those are the two things we were missing, but we're going to continue through Requiem for Innocence first, obviously. Also, hopefully it's not picking up on the mic, but somebody's being towed literally outside my window, and all I can hear is just a truck idling and chains and stuff, so hopefully that'll pass, but there's nothing I can do about that whatsoever. So it started up like 5 minutes ago. I was like, what the hell is that? And somebody's just getting their car towed directly outside my window. So yeah, let's just go. I think we made pretty good friends, don't you? I decided to keep the Halloween lighting, and by Halloween lighting I mean it's the one dim light. Those were his last words before disappearing into the darkness. Their time together was brief, and they knew nothing of each other. Damn it. Come on. Why you gotta make it so fast? Oh. Okay. Not what I expected the second chapter to be. Alright, alright. It's sad Michelle. Which doesn't, to be fair, that doesn't narrow things down much in terms of, I guess it narrows down pre, post, but that's about it. Welcome back to Dele. I've missed you. Hello there, Michelle. What a pleasant welcome this is. You didn't have to come all the way out here to meet me, though. I haven't seen you in so long, and waiting inside is so dreary. What a wonderful sister I've been blessed with. You'd best be careful, though. The sun is quite strong today. Mother would throw a fit if you knew you were out here in this weather. There it is when you're saying the name right. Yeah, Correct. Also, sorry, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Well, clearly I'm only just respecting them more by making a bigger difference between their dead name and their current name. Come on, obviously. I'm just adding more enunciation and accentation to it to further show the difference between what was and what is. So, obviously, that's the excuse I'm sticking with, and nobody can stop me. Do not worry, I heard from the servant he would be back around now, so I haven't been out terribly long. I know you're not one to be tardy either, did you? Took all the necessary precautions. Well, curses. Now I'll have to be absolutely certain nothing delays my next return. Yes, indeed you will. In terms of dental issues, yeah. Again, the only frame of reference I have is my mom had the procedure a few years back. Quite a few years back now, actually. And she hasn't been, she's been very happy with it. So that's the only frame of reference I have. But yeah, if I was told I had to do the same, I'd be coming to terms with it too. I will likely have to do that at some point, because both of my parents have trash teeth. And mine ain't great. I've already had to get a back molar pulled and a back molar in the bottom pulled too, so you get one more on either side and it's going to be very difficult to chew things. So that's life. I'm still sorry to hear. The best I can hope for is that if it has to happen, it'll happen quick, it'll happen painlessly, you'll recover quick, and you'll be happier for it. Then you won't have to worry about any other nonsense. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it doesn't suck, because it definitely sounds like it sucks. I hope it's at least painless, if nothing else. Oh, did I actually read that one? Well, since you're here, would you like to ride back with me? On your horse? I would love to, but I came on horseback as well. She's tied to the tree over there. Unlike your brothers, your horse is smart enough to follow you back. Wow. I like the transitive property of insultation, how you can insult your brother's horse's intelligence, and that is still technically an insult to the brother's intelligence. You know. All right, then I suppose I shall. How was your expedition today? Oh, he was on an expedition? Oh, phew. Hopefully one of the ones where things went better. Oh, there's my drink. Man's horse is a window to the soul. Clearly, yeah. More of the usual. I mean, at least he made it back. Most people who go on expeditions don't. Just patrols, really. No engagements to speak of. Quiet is never a bad thing. Not sure if I'd say never. Ooh, a spooky watch streak indeed. I'm gonna have to find out if there's notifications for that. I don't know what I would do for notifications for that, but currently I don't have any set up, obviously. Maybe I'll have it set up so... It's a new thing, yeah, they just introduced it. I didn't know... I had known for a ways, because they tweet about it occasionally, that they were going to implement it. I didn't know it was going to give extra points. Don't think it's a bad call. But yeah, not only is it a thing, but it also gives extra points. But since it's new, I don't have any notifications tied to it. So... I'll have to think of something short but sweet. Because, like, those are cool, but I don't think that's, like... I don't think I need, like, a 30-second audio for it. I mean, who knows? Maybe once the number gets big enough, we'll have a big audio. But, you know. Do you think something might happen? No. Nothing you need to concern yourself with, at least. You say so. Oh, yes, Mother said she had something important to tell you, and to see her as soon as you arrived. Now that I do not like the sound of. Can hardly blame you. Mother has something important to tell you are the last words anyone wants to hear. You've gotten feisty now, haven't you? Don't tell her I said that. I wouldn't dream of selling out my beautiful baby sister. In fact, I beg you not to say anything of the sort to her either. She can be a bit easy to set off. If anyone, I think George needs that warning most. You're fired today, Michelle. Look, I'm not going to claim to know anything of the trans experience. I have friends who are trans, but to say that I understand anything of the experience whatsoever on a personal level would be a lie. But if I were to transition and change my name, all I'm saying is I would change it to something that didn't get pronounced identically to the name I had before. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That would be confusing. That would be insanely confusing. So, you know, I'm trying to do them a favor by differentiating the names more, and that is the excuse I will stick with till the end of time. I mean, it would be way easier for people to make the switch, because in their mind they might not even be making a switch. You're right, they don't need to remember a new name, but they also might not. They might use that as an excuse to be like, psh, nothing changed. So, pros and cons. And there she is, the world-renowned Castle Bollinger in our lovely home. Not a child anymore, Didier. I know our estate's not nearly as large or impressive as a castle. I used to love it when I called it that. I also used to not be 13. 13 is still plenty a child. Now hold on tight. I'm going to gallop the rest of the way. Yeah. Wait. Slow down, Didier. Try not to fall. Well, yeah, like, there are definitely names that can be used by both genders. I'm just saying, if it were me, which again, it's not, and it won't be, but I imagine if it was me, I would want to pick a name of some differentiation. Like, but again, it's not me, and what the hell do I know? Which is nothing. Good day, Sir Didier. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Everyone looks well. Where's my father? Lord Antonin is out on personal business. He should be returning tomorrow. Thanks. Guess I just missed him. Well then, I should see what Mother... What was that noise? That would be George. Oh, I didn't realize he was going to be home. Should we check in on him? Look, man, we just spent the past several streams squeezing as much depression out of like one chapter of this story as we possibly could. I don't know if what are they even going to do to add to what we already know about this like chapter of life? I don't even. And while I'm not going to skip ahead, I'm really curious about those 2 new ones we unlocked. Oh, also, I hadn't checked in a while, but I forgot that there's a backdoor option on the main menu, and it basically is like, hey, you should play through things in the regular order, but if you've played through these before and you just want to unlock all the new content, it'll quiz you about the game to just unlock everything on the main menu. Obviously, I did not do that before, and I didn't do it now either, but it's a cool idea. Because this has extra content that wasn't in the original. If you played the original and would gladly just answer a few questions. Also, 7th how's it going? And Ark, how you doing? Welcome both of you to Viperland in the chat. Yeah, that's a fun unlock method. To be like, I mean, technically, if you're looking up the answers to it, then you don't care about spoilers anyway. There it is. Perfect. Yeah, we're in a new chapter tonight where nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad happens in this game. I'm really curious to see the reincarnations, because I feel like we got a taste of that at the end of the true ending. That's the one I'm most curious about. Though, I'm definitely curious in concept about the short stories, because, like, no part of this game has been short. What do you fit into a short story? No part of this game has been short. So, yeah. Oh, this isn't Reincarnations Arc. This is the 2nd chapter of what we were doing previously, a Requiem for Innocence. So, we did that one, now we're doing a 2nd chapter, there's a 3rd chapter, then we'll hit Reincarnations, then we'll hit Short Stories. We're going in menu order. Yes, this is part 2 of 3 of Requiem. The past, 4 or 5 streams have all been part 1. I think the fact that part 1 unlocks further content, to me, might indicate that these might not be quite as crazy. But I don't know. It could also have been that any one of them we played through, we just had to play through one and unlocked more? Maybe. I don't know. All I can tell you is what did happen. It might be ramen, yeah. So, No. This won't do it all. It needs more wild innovation and fiery passion and solemn beauty matched with a squeeze of delicate eroticism that doesn't undermine the impact of the piece as a whole. Well, you're asking for a lot. Has to be like a good kick in the marbles. What? Look. I don't know anybody who's gotten kicked directly in the junk and been like, that has a squeeze of delicate eroticism to it. And it's filled with wild innovation, fiery passion, and solemn beauty. None of those... Okay, I was about to say none of those words are words we would use to describe getting kicked in the nards, but I'm pretty sure a fiery burning might be one of them. So fiery, maybe. None of the rest of them. Maybe it's a wild, fiery sensation, so maybe 2 of them. It feels like they are being wildly squeezed above a fire, wildly and fiery squeeze. So 3 words, sure. But I meant, generally speaking, that is not how you would describe that sensation. Has he finally lost his marbles? Clearly. Eek, holy hells, who the hell, look who it is. I didn't know you were back, D. And it's uncouth to barge in on someone without knocking. He knocked several times, called out to you through the door. I must say though, George, it is much more uncouth to take out your frustration on inanimate objects. Oh, you're there too, Michelle. Couldn't see in the shadows of this hulking barbarian. You really are a teeny tiny little gal, aren't you? Mother will not be pleased when she sees the mess you've made of the room. Oh, my dear Michelle, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. True art is only born in the fires of pandemonium. Is that so? You'd at least pretend to care. So... Would you care to explain this? Pandemonium? Oh, you want to know? You want to know all about the masterpiece buried in this wellspring of inspiration? You'll never be able to turn back once you know. But if you're really, really sure, I can give you all the juicy deets. I don't care that much, no. Shall we see what Mother needs to talk about, Michelle? Yes, let's... It's created there. Yeah. Also, I never really leave this game long on the menu screen, because usually if I'm switching over to it, I just play the game. Why would I leave it on the menu screen? Like sometimes, like an action game or something, maybe I'll pause and bring it to the menu. But I didn't realize that the song that plays here until literally tonight when I left it on the menu. I'd never left it here long enough to notice. Yeah. Which is cool. Just, I thought of it because you mentioned song. That was literally all it took for me to be like, oh yeah, that. Yeah, it's just a slower version, which I have to assume is on a soundtrack somewhere, but... Hey, wait! Have you no hearts, you Philistines? You're supposed to grab me by the shoulders and beg me to hear what all the fuss is about. It'll make you stop shouting, fine. Give me the short version. So much for brotherly love. So the royal family is planning construction on a new chateau in the city. And guess who the king himself has to do all the paintings for it? Why, moi, of course. The great artist, Georges Bollinger. Is that so? What's wrong with you two? This is huge. It's huger than huge. I would wager his majesty did not, in fact, come within 1,000 meters of you. Life's no fun if you limit yourself to only the truth. Somehow doubt you're in charge of all the art, either. So in other words, there's almost no truth to your claims. Hey, I really was commissioned to do a piece for the new chateau. And this disaster area is all you have to show for it. Yep. And I don't know what to do. It's a chance for me to make it into the big leagues. I've got to paint something that'll go down in history as one of the great works of our time. Perhaps it would be better if you didn't put as much pressure on yourself. You do much better work when you're relaxed. You're brilliant, Michelle. Let's go out into the town and let loose, just the three of us. That's exactly what I need right now. I've barely had time to sit down since I got back. Sometimes I think there might be no hope for the three of you. Not even a word to your dear mother. Oh, I mean, not for nothing. I didn't expect this game to be as insanely massive as it is. Maybe Umineko's only gonna be like 1 1/3 House in Fata Morganas or something. I don't know. This was the training arc. Good day, Mother. My apologies. I meant to see you as soon as I returned, but... Crap. Mom's gonna flip her lid. We better get out of here before she brings her wrath down on us, Michelle. But... George... I heard every last word. What big ears you have. Care to repeat that? Repeat what, my beautiful mother? I swear, young man. So how did your expedition go, Didier? It's over a while ago. That's true, yeah. But I'm still counting it all as its entirety, since that's what we're playing. Excuse me. Did you run into any trouble? No, I proceeded without issue, thank you. Everyone returned safely by the grace of God. That's wonderful to hear. I prayed for you every day, and it seems he heeded me. I want you to know I quite missed you, even if George and Michelle robbed me of the chance to tell you first. Then you should have gone out to wait for him. Well, George's got no excuse. He was just causing trouble, but... You had the choice. You knew he was coming back too. You could have gone out to wait. You could have greeted him first. Nothing was stopping you. Don't blame other people for, like, taking action when you decided to do nothing. Deeply relieved to have you back in perfect health. There's no need to be dramatic, Mother. I was never in any danger of not returning. Nonetheless, I too am. There's no need for you to be so stiff around your mother. Sorry, it's good to be home, Mom. That's more like it. Welcome home, my darling boy. Eesh, look at him go. Grown man fawning over his mother like a little boy. Make sure you give him crap about it later, Michelle. But you really need to learn to whisper more quietly. I wonder who you inherited those ears from. Swear you. So, Mother, Michelle tells me there's something important you want to speak with me about. Ah, yes, that I do. I'm sure you'd like to rest after your trip, but would you come to my chambers for a bit first? Certainly. Oh, what's this? Can I come too? This is my business. Why should you be allowed to stick your nose into it? Because it sounds like fun, and maybe it'll help give my muse a nice kick in the rump. It's not a private matter, so I don't mind. In fact, maybe it would be better if you were there too, George. Heck yeah! You're coming along too, Michelle? What? Why would I... Oh, what am I going to do with you three? I don't know. You could have chosen not to have kids, or to be... I mean, there's countless things you could have done. One Punch Man yet? I have not, no. I should... I still never saw One Punch Man Season 2, so I really should just sit down and, you know, do that. But, you know... Look... You're never gonna get me to blame somebody... Like... Making an adaptation too good is not a blamable offense. They set the bar high, and future people decided not to hit that bar. Even if it's unrealistic, clearly it was done once. I respect people for pulling it off. What do you think of the painting? It's a fine piece, clearly not made by George. I would have done 10 times better. Who's the hack responsible for this rubbish? Quiet boy. Yeah, no. Like, at that point, it's a budget and directorial thing. Overwork is rough, 100%. And all animators at all studios really deserve more free time and more living wages. But budget and the director's ability to direct and specifically manage time and where to use the budget goes a long way. Oh, absolutely, that too. When you're doing a bajillion adaptations a year, you can only give so much time and energy to each one because that's how the world and time work. Like, yeah, agreed. Sniffle. Does George have a disease where he'll die if he isn't running his mouth every waking moment or something? Not the painting itself, the girl in the painting. She's pretty, I suppose. Do you like her? In what sense, Mother? Where are you going with this? This girl is the daughter of the Castanier estate to the south of us. Alright, let's be honest, I've pronounced that 9 ways wrong. Let's go to translate again. I feel like it's safe to keep it in French.
Castanier.
No, Castanier.
Castanier.
Okay, I really wasn't off. For once. For once. Or what she will look like a few years from now. Look, no artist is going to be able to... Sure, you know, fine. The artist decided to be like, she's going to look like this in a few years. In a few years. Then she's still a child. She is, yes, and her family is trying to complete arrangements for her marriage as early as possible. Her marriage? The Castaniers are a respectable family with lots of land. We have plenty to gain from this arrangement. All you need to do is say, Mother, as I've told you on several occasions, my body and soul belong to the church. I will neither succeed father nor take a wife. And you're firm in your decision. Yes, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's very disappointing indeed. I'd be so much more comfortable with you taking over the house. Well, what about you, George? Do you have any interest in her? I don't know. Not really feeling it. Now, George, you do realize that Didier not becoming head means that you will be, right? So you can't make a decision like this, which will affect the future of both of our houses for generations, because you're not feeling it. Man, it really does cement the realization that, like, marrying for love is a much more modern thing than we tend to think of it as. That has not been the case for the majority of human history at all. Yeah, it really, like, marriage had to gain something to both parties. The other person had to have either a name or land or money or... Well, that's fair, I suppose. But at the same time, I feel like if you were not a noble and you did not have a lot, you'd still kind of be looking for somebody who had a little bit more than you did, you know. I'm sure that played a large part in those marriages. But also, I don't know, I didn't live then. Yeah, that's true. I definitely have friends who were happy being in a long-term committed relationship without being married, but did the math and were like, we'd save money if we just got married. So they just kind of got married. And they're the same they always were. But now they save a bit of money on taxes. They already were committed and they were gonna stay together, and they still are. They had a wedding specifically. Correct, yeah, no, they were absolutely in love, but they didn't care if they had wedding bands or whatnot. They were happy just being in love and being in a long-term relationship, but they did the math and were like, well, I guess we should just save money. Which is so... I mean, it works. As long as everyone's happy, screw it. But, this. It's easy for you to say, Mom, but I can't change what appeals to me. It'd be all for nothing if we couldn't hit it off and never had any kids. And tell me, what is there not to like about her? She's a beautiful young lady. She's pretty, sure, but I'm getting nasty vibes from that picture. Looks like a real sourpuss. I want someone more, you know, cheery if I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life with her. Wouldn't go as far as him, but there is something about her that doesn't sit right with me. Not sure how to put it into words, though. I feel like sourpuss, that's a pretty good one. Just looks that way in the painting. I'm certain you'll find her to be a lovely girl when you meet her. How can you be so sure? You haven't even seen her for yourself. Anyway, I'm not interested, and that's that. Such a wonderful offer, too. Once I'm sworn in as official court artist, I'll be up to my ears in marriage offers. Something even better will come along, I promise. I'm afraid with your attitude, this may be the last offer we ever see. Don't you worry, we've got ourselves a proud knight of the order, the most sought-after artist in the land, and a brilliant, beautiful princess. If that's not a recipe for success, I don't know what is. Oh, George. Something troubling you, Michelle. What? Oh, no, nothing. My mind was wandering, that's all. See, look what you did, Mom. You upset Michelle by being such a worrywart. Throwing me to the wolves, are you, my boy? You have thrown everyone here to the wolves already so far in one conversation, so maybe, pot kettle? Literally put an arranged marriage proposal to your son that you know has repeatedly told you has sworn his life to the church, and been like, oh, come on, please, we get a lot of land out of it. Oh, dear Michelle, I'm just being cautious about our future. Not as worried as I may have sounded. I have the 3 most wonderful children in the world. I couldn't be more blessed. We're strong, and together we're even stronger. I have no doubt my mind will thrive and grow for generations to come. So we obviously... Obviously, Michelle does not end up with children. I'm, like... Before George and Didier died, did they have any children? Yeah, I was about to say. And, mind you, if George's wife did have a child, it's probably Didier's. But, yeah, no, I was pretty sure they didn't. So, a false statement all the way down. It's even funnier having the mom talk about how strong they are together when, let's be honest, the mom is the driving factor for splitting them apart. Like, I'm sure the dad wasn't thrilled with things, but the brothers honestly were pretty okay with it, and the mom lost her mind. Maybe he does, but if they are, they're of no real, like, noble significance. They're not royalty, but they are nobles. Yeah. all be together forever. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in a bloodline sense, it could have kept going. For a brief moment after waking, seeing only darkness, I forgot where I was. As my eyes adjusted and the world faded into view, a faint sense of disappointment swelled up in my breast. That was over a decade ago. Oh. Didn't realize we had skipped. It was over a decade ago. A life I no longer had. And in fact, a life I couldn't be certain I ever had. For all I knew, my mind could have fabricated the entire thing. But in short order, the waves of sentimentality receded. A few years earlier, that yearning for bygone days would leave my heart in tatters, but now I had grown largely numb to it. This was the life I knew best. I wasn't a 13-year-old child anymore. Nor was I a girl. Nor was I a member of the Bollinger family. I was a demon most frightful, exiled to a remote mansion. Okay, so we're here in time then. His dark throne, Assento Dele. Kill the accursed thing. Those were the first words uttered by the witch upon my discovering the being lying in a heap outside the front door. The witch had haunted me ever since the day I resurrected her at the top of the mansion's observation tower a few years earlier. At first, her constant whispering in my ear had been insufferable, driving me to my wit's end. Did everything I could think of to deny her existence and push her out of my life. But that too had passed. I had been drained of all will to fight against her, or frankly, feel anything at all. No joy, no anger, no frustration, no sorrow. Perhaps that could be said to mean she had defeated me, but in retrospect, the witch causing me to encase my heart in stone had consequently kept me from being miserable every time I received a letter from my mother. Sure, I had a vengeful, conniving, disembodied voice whispering really shitty things into my ear all the time, but you know, hurt less than a letter from my mother is a hell of a thing to say. Like, jeez. Mind you, again, knowing what we know, I believe it wholeheartedly. But geez, nonetheless, also 1 second. It feels like ages since we've had disembodied voice whispering Morgana, and not mildly rude to people around her, but for the most overwhelmingly, like, understandable reasons ever, 13-year-old Morgana is younger than that. Made me think getting worked up over some stupid words on scraps of paper was a waste of time and energy. So while I wasn't at the point of gleefully cozying up to her, it was true that her presence had made my life easier. Can't stand the sight of it. It's utterly dreadful. The witch wanted me to kill them, but instead I crouched down to get a better look. They seemed to be dead already. It appeared someone had died on my doorstep, and because of the way they were clothed, I couldn't make anything out beyond that at a distance. It's faint, but they're still breathing. Look, you can see their chest moving. Surprised she noticed. I could barely tell from up close. That does bring into question how she sees the world, because she is super dead at this rate and has been for a long time. Is she seeing the world through his eyes? Does she just kind of see? Does she just kind of know everything that happens within, like, the perimeter of the house? I'd believe that, too, honestly. I reached my hand out to roll them over, at which point the witch gave me an exaggerated sigh. Wouldn't recommend touching them. They're diseased. That's why they look like a human raisin. That was indeed one way to describe them. What had first come to mind for me, though, was something I had read in a book about how desert culture would mummify their dead. The person on the ground looked like what I imagined a mummy did, though I was under the impression mummification was performed in order to preserve the bodies of high-ranking individuals. Which is to say, you weren't likely to find one collapsed on your doorstep. Pretty unlikely, yeah. Ignoring Morgana's warning, I put my hand on their arm. It twitched, and they let out a groan. It's a swift stab to the heart, and they won't have to suffer any longer. The person didn't seem to have enough strength to sit up, barely enough to hold on to their last vestiges of life. Their fingers continued to twitch, but it didn't seem deliberate. The tall grass in which they were lying seemed to want to swallow them up. Oh, yeah, the Pokemon did it, I get it. Do it, my dear. Send that poor soul to heaven by whatever means you please. Or perhaps they'll end up in hell. They're not long for this world, with or without my help. Who's going to have to deal with the rotting corpse in a few weeks if you just leave them there? Next month's delivery boy, presumably. Imagine the look on his face when he finds it. Imagine what he'll tell your family when he returns. It'd make everyone's lives easier if you just killed them here. Bury them somewhere nearby. Let them nourish the earth with their flesh. If there's any nourishment left to be squeezed from them, that is. Or you could try luring some animals here. There wouldn't be traces of gore to clean up if you let a couple of wolves at them. And they'd get a nice meal out of it, so everyone wins. Can't imagine they'd find much to enjoy in this pile of bones. Hold. You have no room to talk. You're clearly enjoying yourself. My, what would ever make you think that? There's been nothing to entertain you recently. I certainly haven't been talking much, and nothing of note has happened. I can tell you've been bored. A few quiet weeks hardly counts as boredom compared to the years I spent in slumber. If you say so. Brushing the witch's distractions aside, I put my hand back on the vagrant's arm and flipped them over so I could get a better look. They were much lighter than I had expected. The arm was little more than flesh and bone, and that flesh felt like leather. I couldn't guess their age or even gender. They were dressed in unadorned brown robes and a cowl. One thing stood out about their dress, though: their mask. And when I removed the mask, I was greeted with torn, wrinkled flesh and eyes so sunken it was disquieting. I wasn't sure what I saw beneath it could even be called a face. Bandages covered their head from the nose down, and what hid beneath them was in even worse condition. I couldn't tell where their nose ended and their cheeks began, and their lips had curled back into their mouth, turning it into a gaping gash. Even as close as I was, I could barely make out the sound of their breathing. They almost certainly wouldn't survive much longer. Good heavens. As I thought the witch might find some compassion in her heart for the dying vagrant, get rid of that filthy thing. I was immediately proven wrong. Her tone of voice was like that of someone who had found rotten food in her pantry while looking for something to eat. As I said, they're diseased. We should stay away unless you want to end up like that. I mean, honestly, it really does sound like, by the way they're being described, is that they are just dehydrated to an inhumane amount. Like, it sounds like they haven't eaten or drank anything in forever. They're not. It doesn't sound to me like they're describing somebody with a pox. It just sounds like somebody who is going to starve to death. Your legs too frail to hold you up, your body withered and your eyes sunken, worthless orbs. It's highly infectious. I largely ignored the witch's whisperings. She liked toying with me, so I couldn't take what she said at face value. She was more than happy to lie or exaggerate for the sake of tormenting me. There was no guarantee their ailment was contagious at all. So just hurry and get rid of. Are you listening to me? I hoisted the vagrant onto my back. A simple task even for me. Perhaps the least fit man in the world. They were smaller than me, but not child-sized. It's like I was carrying an empty sack of skin. I have no doubt that it was an accurate description, but I don't like it. So it gives you something to stave off your boredom. Told you, I'm not bored. Heavens, I never took you for the kind of raving lunatic who helps strangers. It would make sense that Morgana would see helping a stranger for no reason whatsoever besides being helpful as absolute madness. And that would be Morgana in life. This is Morgana long after. I wasn't bringing them in out of the goodness of my heart. They simply piqued my curiosity. There was something oddly amusing about the whole twisted situation. A witch, a demon child, and a living mummy. And what better place to gather them all together than a cursed mansion? Oh, I mean, look. Why would she tell anyone the truth now? She's just here, make things interesting for her and really bad for the people she doesn't like. I also think that some part of me wanted to see and feel death up close. What's going on? Can't see a thing. My eyes finally started going. I was so close to that mansion, but I guess this is the end of the line for me. Wait, no, I still have my vision. It's just dark as hell. Nighttime happens occasionally. Where in the world am I? I'm on a bed? Good morning. Who the hell is that? What's going on? I don't... But maybe... Can you not speak? No, I can talk, but it hurts. I was just a little startled. By what? The angel that's come to meet me at the gates? Literally, it just goes, motherfucking not again. It just walks and leaves. Doesn't seem to have taken that one well. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, like, it's the same thing as, what's even a good example of it? I have a friend who goes by a different nickname, but their actual name is Rhiannon, like the song. And trust me, she was tired long before I even knew her when we met in high school of people being like, oh, like the song, or quoting lyrics of the song. And it's like, yeah, I get it, stop. But every person was like, ha, I'm the first person to think of this. This will be hilarious. And it's like, no, they were sick of it before you even could have had a chance to come up with it. I'm so smart. Yeah. The man sitting there was a curious specimen. And yeah, I know, pot, meat kettle. It appears almost as if he was part of the surrounding darkness, an ethereal being that might vanish when I next blinked. Not human, but merely something taking its form. The more I looked at him, the more it seemed like, rather than him being a part of the darkness instead radiated from him, which is probably where the angel bit had come from. This isn't the afterlife. No. I guess it isn't. If this were heaven, I wouldn't feel like death, and there'd be at least a dozen half-naked ladies hanging over me. I was gonna say, probably means a guy, but no. Makes it more likely. But I hurt like hell, so I must still be alive. Reality's a bitch, huh? That said, though, felt like I'd get on a lot better with a stony-faced angel like him than what they usually advertised. The sack of bones in the bed had a voice like dry leaves scraping against one another. While carrying them to the room, I noticed several of their joints seemed to bend in ways they shouldn't, so I thought they might be on the older side. But upon closer inspection, that didn't appear to be the case. The way they talk makes them sound young, too. Going to guess a man? Early 20s, maybe? If you're not an angel, then you must be the witch. I beg your pardon. Just kidding. Don't bite my head off. I don't look anything like a witch. It's not as far off the mark as he thinks, but he doesn't need to know about my childhood. So hey, would you mind sparing a bit of water? My throat hurts like 12 kinds of hell, and I'm sure you'd appreciate being able to understand me better. Some right there. Huh? Oh, you already got some for me. Thanks, I can't unbend my damn arm. I'm grabbing that for me. Did no one ever teach you how to say please? Oh, lighten up, would you? Show a dying fella some pity. Maybe he wouldn't have died if I'd left him out there. Yes, I'm pretty sure with the state they're in, leaving them exposed to the elements without food and water for longer would be the way to make them healthy. It's much feistier than I expected. In fact, he's nothing at all like I imagined. He was still lying half dead on the ground outside my door. There was a mystique about him. As a mummy, he was interesting, which gave him inherent value. But now that he was awake and talking, he was a normal human. Almost excessively so. I reluctantly picked up the goblet and handed it to him, watching as he pulled down the wrappings covering his mouth to drink. It seemed like he wanted to down the whole thing in one go, but judging from the groans I heard, his body wasn't cooperating. A few years earlier, I may have sympathized with him, but not now. All I felt now was curiosity. What was this sick man doing in front of my mansion? What brings you here? Can't you at least let me drink in peace? Let me tell you, man, I'm in no shape to be multitasking. It takes all my attention just to drink a glass of water. Plus, it's darker than hell in here. I can barely see what I'm doing. You're free to leave if you're not happy here. I'm through this water and have a chance to rest, and maybe a complimentary glass of wine on top of that to raise my spirits. I'll be right out. Rather brazen for a guest. Oh, I'm a guest now, am I? I thought I was just a subject for your observation. Hit the nail on the head. And are you implying that means you should have free reign here? Sure am. You stop worrying about a lot of things when you're on the verge of death. What's the worst that happens if I piss you off? You kill me? All that means is I lose a few days. No real risk in acting like I own the place. Not a bad deal if I do say so myself. Certainly are lively and talkative for someone on the verge of death. I did just have a hefty helping of the elixir of life. Sighed to myself. I take it in quite the high-maintenance specimen, it seems. There wasn't going to be much worth observing when he was full. Why am I so fucking on tonight? What the heck? I slept really good last night, actually. The night before was a bit spottier, but I don't know why I've got all the odds tonight. Oh. Okay. There wasn't going to be much worth observing when he was full of such vitality and his lips never stopped flapping. He was exactly the kind of person I could at least stand to be around. I could practically hear the witch saying, "See, what did I tell you? You should have just listened to me and not wasted your time and energy." Which only made the whole thing that much worse. But curiously, I couldn't feel her presence, even though she was seemingly always around. Maybe she was afraid she might catch whatever disease this man had. Can spirits even get sick? Never mind her. I have more important things to deal with, like how to get this man out of my house. Anyway, you were asking what I was doing here. Well, I was looking for something. Did that search? Back up a sec. What is this place anyway? Sure doesn't look like a tiny little one-man shack. Not that I can see much in this dark, but these furnishings don't look cheap. It's a mansion. Yours? Half of it, roughly. So, what, you live with someone? In a sense. Huh? Now, I don't want to sound rude, but... Oh, we're well past rude at this point. Go on. Already making friends. So I'm curious. There wouldn't have to be any rumors about this place, would there? Such as, like, say, cursed witch dwells within its halls? That's what he was searching for? Oh yeah, I'll take that size. Yes! Excellent. Fan-frickin-tastic. I was heading in the right direction. Let me stay here for a little, please. Are you out of your mind? I have a favor to ask the witch. That's the whole reason I came here. I don't know what you've heard, but the witch isn't one to go around doing people favors. Whatever your wish is, it won't be granted here. Hey, you never know. This is the first time for everything. And I doubt this is it. Why is he so fixated on the witch anyway? The witch of legend was said to be cursed. She was spoken of around these parts only in whispers, and people stayed away from the mansion for fear of provoking her wrath. I mean, knowing what we know now, the fact that, like, she just straight up wiped out a town with her curse, it's not shocking that people spoke about it in hushed whispers as, like, the thing of, like, nightmares and dreams. That would be scary in this day and age, but in that day and age, yeah, it would be unprecedented. There we go. Hopefully the drink helps a bit. Yeah, I mean, Look, when an entire city gets hit with a disease that wipes them all out painfully, seemingly at the same time, and the like one or two random survivors are like, it was the witch. It was the witch. That you don't go to that city. You don't go anywhere near that. That is gone now. That is dead land. See if that helps any. The curse had destroyed an entire city, it was said. I had no way of knowing whether that much was true or not. It was true, but I did know that the witch was real. Couldn't figure out how someone could hear the rumors about the witch and decide, I'm going to ask her for a favor. It's beyond ludicrous. Well, now that that's out of the way, thanks for the hospitality, buddy. Stop right there. Never said you could stay. Anything I could do to change that? Not a thing. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but you've left me no choice. I'm staying with or without your permission. What the hell makes you think you have the right? I'll happily comply with whatever the head honcho here decides. Remember, you said the mansion was only half yours, so until there's a unanimous agreement to boot me from everyone with a stake in the property, I'm sticking around. This little weasel. I won't just be a straight-up leech, though. Don't you worry. If you need help with anything, chores, whatever, just give me a shout. But to do that, I guess you need to know what to shout, huh? The name's Imion. Pleasure to meet you. It's definitely not him. I've been doing French for all the recent ones, but, like, we don't really know where about they are at this rate.
Iméon.
Do we have it in English?
Imion.
Iméon.
Imion.
Imion. We'll go with that. Not as far off as I would have thought. Hey now, giving me the silent treatment? Is that how you're gonna play this? Flat pretending I don't exist? No. My mind just froze up for a moment. I think he's serious about staying, which is a problem, even setting aside the witch situation. The more contact I have with anyone, the greater risk there is that the word of my survival finds its way out. No. What? That said, he isn't long for this world. This vigor won't last, that much is certain. In fact, it might be smarter to keep an eye on him. Make sure he's dead before he has a chance to tell anyone about me. Hello? Need help finding your way out of your thoughts, buddy? Death will find you long before the witch does, I'm sure. Yeesh, that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? I've braced myself for that outcome already, but following the logic of that zinger, sounds like you're giving your approval of my stay. Resigning myself to it may be a better way to put it. It's all the same to me. So tell me, what's your name anyway? Unless you want me to stick with calling you an angel or the witch's right hand, that is. And neither of those things, thank you very much. So, what should I call you? Mikhail. Mikhail, derived from the name of the Archangel Michael. What was that about not being an angel again? I haven't wanted to strangle someone this badly in a long time. And what exactly do you think you're doing? The witch spoke almost as soon as I stepped into my chambers. I could hear her voice right in my ear, as if she were standing beside me, which was especially jarring as she had been completely absent during my conversation with Imion. She seemed to know what we had talked about, though, so I assumed she had been spectating from a safe distance. What do you mean? You're hardly the type to take in poor wandering souls on a whim. You're right, I should have asked you first. This is your house, after all. Half mine, you mean? You should be thankful you let me have half of it. You are the master of this house, and I, go on, was never master. So I have no say in who you choose to let stay here. But you will heckle me about it. Yeah, do you not understand that the only joy she derives in life right now is heckling you? Of course, I need my entertainment too. See? So, what are you going to do about, whatever his name was? Imion? Right, that. I was hoping you would chase that dreadful thing out. He says he has business with you. Oh, does he now? So you weren't listening in on the whole thing? I'd be more than happy to hover over your every waking moment if that's what you prefer. Rather you didn't. As you can see, I respect your personal space. Ooh. Apex Routini. Ooh, nice. I spotted one on the roofs, but I was not of a level to contend with that at the time, and I haven't gone back yet. I did find my first EV. No, I found my second EV. I caught my first EV. The first one I found, I got it to like KO status and tried to catch it and just left. Yeah, which really does make me think that she can't go near the guy. Because she does not respect personal space whatsoever. And she would take any opportunity to just, you know, make someone's life worse. Pretty much exclusively Mikhail's right now, because they're the only one that can hear her, but definitely does make me think that maybe she couldn't have gone into that room. It wouldn't hurt you to show a bit of gratitude sometimes. So, what does that man want with me? Not a clue. All he said is he wanted to ask the witch a favor. A favor? Indeed. What a farce. I agree. You would never grant the wish of a... No, not that. That you happily passed on a stranger's request, but vehemently refused to make your own of me. The offer still stands, my dear. Just say the word and I'll put a curse on your entire family. I told you repeatedly, I'm not going to ask you to do that. Obstinate as ever, I see. Anyway, I never asked you to grant his wish, only conveyed to you that he had one. But then why wouldn't she have been in that room when he was with someone else? Like, it's strange. It's strange. He'll be dead in short order regardless. Week or two at most. How tragic for him, betting the last remains of his life on the legend of the cursed witch, only to be dealt a pair of heartless jokers. In all likelihood, he just wants me to cure whatever disease he has. Why would a witch who deals in curses cure diseases anyway? Now, it's not polite to judge someone by their appearance, my dear. Are you saying you can do it? Maybe, maybe not. Regardless, there's but one thing the two of us can do for him. Watch as the poor wretch's life slips away, alone and in the dark. Such a happy, uplifting witch. Christ, this is hell. Shouldn't be this exhausting just to walk down the hall. I'd sure love to get a little more light in here. Might make moving around easier. Nah, this is fine. No light means I don't have to worry about how monstrous I look. This face is like a curse in itself. Okay, so the only places I haven't seen yet are this room and Michael's room. Mikhail. And he made it very clear he didn't want me anywhere near his room, so... In practice, that makes this the last one. Here goes. Damn. A huge stained glass window sits at the back of the chamber. The archangel within casted a faint light across the room. The light almost burned my eyes, which were still acclimated to the darkness. It felt almost like I was in the presence of an actual divine being. So we got a guy named after an angel, and a stained glass window of an archangel. Whoever called this place cursed didn't look very hard, I guess. This is closer to a damn temple, if anything. As I approached the source of the light, the shape of the room came into view. Rows of pews, a pulpit, and a cross. It looked like I was right on the money. I was in a chapel. Or the remains of one, anyway. The wooden pews had rotted to the point of uselessness, and the floor was peeling all over the place. It was like an abandoned shrine to a saint, hidden away in the dark corners of the mansion. Fascinating. The worst of it's been mended, but you can still see marks on the walls where it looks like it's been struck with a sword or something. Did a battle take place here? It's very one-sided. There's splotches of black on the floor. Bloodstains, maybe? There's something on the pulpit, too. Ah, a mask. I figured he threw it out. Huh. So Mikhail isn't all cold and heartless after all. Or maybe he just didn't feel like going outside. Who knows? Either way, I'll happily take it back. It's already seen my face, so it doesn't change much, but I feel better covering it up either way. My disease, okay, so there was a disease, was highly stigmatized and said to be just as infectious. Not only was it obvious from my appearance, I was also required to carry around a bell to alert others to my presence. Oh. Okay. I lost that while wandering through the forest, but up until then, whenever I went into a town or city, I had to ring the bell as I walked. Surprise, surprise, it invited all sorts of dirty looks and people scrambling to get away from me. Churches would sometimes offer me aid, but that was a once-in-a-blue-moon occurrence. Effectively, I'd been through nothing but hell up until now. I hadn't done a damn thing, and yet they treated me like a murderer. In fact, I'd almost bet a criminal didn't get half the crap I did. Just thinking about it killed my mood. He didn't hesitate to touch me, though. Does he not know what I have is contagious or something? I mean, makes my life easier, at least. And speak of the goddamn devil. Hey there, Mikhail. It's been, what, a couple hours? Oh. I found Imian in the chapel. He had put his mask back on, despite the fact I had already seen what it hid. I couldn't imagine whatever he gained from wearing it was worth the obstructed vision, but surely he had his reasons. Hell of an impressive window you got here. A pretty good guess where he was going with that train of thought. I was entirely disinterested in humoring it. He would start off with something about how beautiful and awe-inspiring it was, mention the Archangel, then try to lead into, "You make a freaking fortune off this!" I beg your pardon? Glass doesn't come cheap, especially not the colored stuff. I was thinking if you found the right buyer, you could be rolling in dough. Does he have any idea just how sacrilegious that is? Let me guess, you're thinking, does he have any idea how blasphemous that is? No. I used the word sacrilegious. And now you're thinking, can this fella read my mind? I'm not. You should say what's on your mind. Otherwise, I'll just have to keep saying it for you. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not particularly talkative. Not saying you have to yap for days like me. But what you said was indeed blasphemous. I do not disagree with the sentiment. Oh, really? Just chunks of glass arranged into shapes. Bingo! There's no actual angel there, just a man's depiction of one. Who are you? Who are you, anyway? Well, that sure came out of nowhere. Did it? Really? The person who was withering away to nothing and almost died on our doorstep, only to be brought inside, given water, become super energetic and talkative, and start wandering around the mansion while we know nothing whatsoever? I feel like asking who are you is a very valid question. And do you want me to spill my guts without doing the same for me? My apologies. I have not had the chance to hold a conversation in some time. I see. You are not obligated to say anything if you do not wish to. I would not answer if you asked me the same. Sounds like we're on the same page then. The more we share, the more comfortable it's going to make it for everyone. So let's keep things the way they are. A nice and cozy distance. Also, you should keep your distance. I'm highly infectious and I will kill you. I may be curious as all get out about what the hell you're doing out here all alone in the middle of frick all, but I won't pry. Alright, I'll tell you what I can. I'm a nomad. Before I got sick, I traveled all across the lands. It'd be nice to loot that strum as I trotted from place to place, singing songs and pretending I was a troubadour. You were a traveler? I tell stories of my exploits for days on end if you want to hear them. I'll pass, thank you. Your eyes tell me you're lying, buddy. I'd rather you listen to what I said. War stories over dinner then. Sounds like a date. Now, I've got a little question for you if you don't mind. Not about where you came from or anything, I promise. Yes? Why didn't you say anything about my face? I assumed you were going to ask about the witch, not me. Hard not to be curious, you know? Everyone's grossed out by it. It's a fair point. Even Morgana was taken aback by the sight. I can imagine he would appear monstrous to someone who's led a relatively normal life. He's probably been subjected to less than charitable treatment for it. It's Olivier. It's kind of funny. Which makes me wonder, how is he not drained and jaded by now? I don't understand how he can be so spirited. I I've seen the kind of hardship that can be brought into someone by their parents. So what you're saying is, it's nothing new to you. Correct. Did think it a little unusual, but nothing more. I understand your ailment is contagious. What? You knew? Why did you help me then? Why didn't you hesitate to touch me? You carried me into the mansion. You handed me water, all the while knowing you could be infected. Couldn't figure out how to honestly explain my actions. Part of it was me deliberately acting against Morgana's wishes, frustrated by her repeated insistence that I kill him. But the aura of death that hung over him was the biggest factor. There was something indescribably alluring about it. All I'll say is I would have left you if you were in good health. So it was pity? You had nothing to gain from helping me. I don't have any money, and I'm definitely not a hot babe. No interest in money or women. To be clear, I didn't bring you in out of the goodness of my heart either. When you said you thought you were a subject for my observation, you were correct. You're here predominantly because I wanted to observe a withered, half-dead mummy of a man. A mummy, huh? Well, hate to burst your bubble, but I'm just an ordinary guy. Unfortunately so. It looks like first chapter a month ago. And here I thought you were only observing me because you didn't know about my disease. Never would have guessed it was the other way around. God, you really are one of the most bizarre fellas I've ever met. Just gonna not say anything. Keep it to myself. Use this as a chance to stretch my wings. Enjoy not being the unclean for once. Didn't much carry the way if you ended up catching it. So the witches declined your request to speak with her. Not even let me finish, huh? Takes it as a no apologies necessary then. Well, shit. You have no reason to remain here. I left the bar off the front door for you. Which was my last resort. I saw who knows how many doctors. Not a one could do a thing. Hell, as soon as they saw me, the assholes tried to rob me blind with fees. It would cost extra because they're putting themselves at risk, they'd claim. So I traveled to other cities, towns, villages. If docs weren't going to do anything, maybe I'd have better luck with regional remedies. Everything from herbal stuff to straight up hocus pocus. No effect. Any of it. Had no interest in an apology or his life story, so why haven't I turned and left yet? Why am I standing here, listening to him talk? All that's left for me is to turn to was God and the devil. But I figured God would just say, accept your lot in life. Shrug his shoulders and tell me to die in a ditch. But I wanted to live. Looking like that? Damn right. So, what? Do you believe that if you tough it out, one day your valiant efforts will pay off? That there's a light at the end of the tunnel? Because that's all fairy tale nonsense. So, you're right. The real world doesn't work like that. We just tell ourselves it does because it makes it easier to get through the day. The fact of it is, life's a big old swamp and no one's got a map. One wrong step and it swallows you whole, like a game designed by a goddamn 5-year-old. The odds are stacked against you, but like hell I'm gonna go down without a fight. Got nothing to show for it yet, which is exactly why I'm not ready to kick the bucket. And you never will have anything to show for it either. Your desire to make something of your life will only serve to drag you deeper into the depth. The more you tell yourself you can, the greater your pain when you realize you can't. It sounds a hell of a lot like you're speaking from experience, buddy. As I said, the witch will not be seeing you. You would do best to look elsewhere to fulfill your dying wishes. You never know, bud. Tomorrow's another day. Maybe you should be in a more accommodating mood then. But I'm sure not going to let one measly no get the better of me. The witch Morgana is a sadistic woman. If she reveals herself to you, it will only be to torture and kill you. Can't say death much scares me these days. It's knocking on my door regardless. And you can never say for sure. Every woman's got at least 2 masks she switches between. Maybe she'll pick a friendlier one for me than she does for you. You're a damn fool if you believe that. And she's a witch. Even if she would hear you out, she doesn't have the power to heal you. Ruin and destruction is her singular desire. It's two desires. I have to ask, all you want from me is to watch me die, right? So what do you have to gain from warning me about the witch? Doesn't worrying about me run counter to your own wishes? I'm hardly worried about you. Could have fooled me. Simply making a statement of fact. You would only be wasting your time trying to see the witch. I haven't seen the proof, so I'm not convinced it's as much of a fact as you'd claim. Which means this conversation's going exactly nowhere. Do as you please, and I won't try to chase you out anymore. Don't come crying to me when my words prove true. Much obliged, buddy. That's one less hurdle to trip over on my way to making a huge ass out of myself. I would like you to promise me one thing, though. Sure thing. I'll leave the bar off the front door, so when the time comes, make sure you save enough energy to get yourself outside before you die. I don't want to have to clean up the mess. A real treat, buddy. After a little chat, Mikhail gave me permission to make use of anything in the mansion. Still came with the condition that I stayed away from his room and didn't pry into his personal life, and that seemed fair enough, considering I didn't want him digging into mine either. In fact, I couldn't have asked for a better arrangement. After so long wandering with food a constant uncertainty, having a roof over my head and meals at my convenience was heaven on earth. He had dried foods and smoked meats in the cellar, as well as bread, which, last I checked, didn't store for very long. But he never seemed to leave the house, so I did recall hearing some rumors on my way here. Whispers of a shadowy carriage occasionally seen heading towards the cursed mansion. No one knew for sure what it carried, but there was a general consensus. Offerings to the witch. Fresh sacrifices to keep her appeased. Which was obvious nonsense. No one was sending shipments of virgins to offer to the witch. Basket of bread and other supplies now, maybe. Rumors have a way of taking on a life of their own, but that was so patently absurd I couldn't believe anyone bought it. It still left me with scores of questions, though. Who was bringing Mikhail the supplies, and for what purpose? Why did he never leave? Was he imprisoned here for some iniquity? But obviously, I had no intentions of seeking out the answers. If we spent long enough together, I would probably find out eventually. But I knew damn well I didn't have that kind of time left. What point was there in lifting the curtains on someone else's life when chances were I was going to croak not long after? I had no intention of repeating Pandora's mistake. If I was going to spend my last days here, living with him, I wasn't going to get anywhere near that jar and risk making waves. Make waves all sorts of other ways, but, leave that one alone. Couldn't say whether or not that was the best strategy, but regardless, I made it through our first 2 weeks together well enough. Damn, lived 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, it seems like the two of us were talking more and more. I was standing before the stained glass window. It had become a routine for me to spend a few hours of each far too long day in the mansion's chapel. I wasn't so naive to think the angel would grant me relief, but I did sort of enjoy being in the presence of something so magnificent and undeniably beyond my reach. It was impressive in the same way as any other massively expensive piece of art. Now that I think about it, I never really appreciated art when I was younger. Didn't even tell the difference between what was good and bad. Maybe because I was just a kid, because there was nothing left to appreciate. In the end. Oh, hey, sorry. Lost my thoughts. What's the occasion? You almost never initiate. I need your help with something. Damn, is the sky gonna fall today? So what can I do for you? I'm going to cover up the stained glass window. I noticed you enjoy this. You're gonna... What? Seemed unsurprisingly that this was the last thing he'd expected to come out of my mouth, and that the incredulity was obvious even in his raspy old man's voice. I could easily imagine the expression he might be making beneath the mask, if he'd had a face left to make it with. What, asking for a reason count as prying? No particular reason. I simply dislike the sight of it. Well, that's a damn shame. I rather enjoy my time with it. I seem to recall you saying it was nothing more than colored glass. In a spiritual sense, sure, but do I look like I'm praying to it? No, I'm admiring the craftsmanship. It's one hell of a piece. I see. Though, I've pretty much gotten the thing memorized by now, so sure, let me give you a hand. Thank you. Follow me. I gave him a quick glance, then started off down the hall. I walked at a relaxed pace because as much as he tried to hide it, he was visibly more sluggish than 2 weeks prior. Even breathing seemed to be an endeavor for him. As I walked, I made sure he was keeping up by the sound of his footsteps, but never once did I turn back to look. Facing away, I said, "You didn't have to come along." "Excuse me, you're the one who asked me to?" "Didn't you think it a bit inconsiderate to ask someone in your condition to do hard physical labor? No one with any common decency would do that." "Well, I guess that puts you in the clear." "Just joking, don't bite my head off." They didn't say anything. I wouldn't say I think it's inconsiderate, personally. In fact, I really appreciate you not giving me special treatment, of any kind. You don't go easy on me because I'm sick, and you don't put me through the ringer for it either. I prefer it that way. Us both on level ground. You say so. You know, I just said I appreciate you not going easy on me. This is a bit much, don't you think? Indeed, many taras. And holy hell, this room's 10 times mustier than the rest of the joint. Got it. This is a really freaking roundabout way of murder, isn't it? Told you that you didn't have to help. 2 of us were looking down at an old, weathered bundle of cloth that had been in the mansion longer than even I had. It was a single piece large enough to cover an entire stained glass window and thick enough to block out its light. The fabric was far heavier than most people realized. Something this thick and tightly woven was going to weigh a ton. I knew I wouldn't be able to carry it to the chapel by myself. You're free to head back to your room. I'll do it. I'm not backing out now. Besides, there's not a chance in hell you're getting this up there alone. It's not that long of a walk from here to the chapel, I think. Alright, let's do this. Oh, hold up. I need a breather. Oh, hey, don't drop it without warning me, asshole. Quit trying to act like you're hot shit. I can see you're just as winded as me. What do you know? I'm perfectly fine. Someone is out of shape. I'm the last person I want to hear that from. Hey now, at least I have an excuse. I'm in perfect freaking health. Look at me, I'm half dead here. Before I got sick, I could run for 24 hours straight, no problem. Alright, let's get going. Are you deaf? Finally, we made it. Seriously thought I would die before we got here. That's one for the gravestone. Died carrying a bundle of fabric. Not trying to hide it anymore, are you? Not a word. Oh god, I'm laughing and coughing. The worst, obviously. Where is this coming from? Please don't cough and laugh at the same time. It's disturbing. I don't know. It's freaking hilarious. What is? You don't think this is the funniest damn thing in the world? 2 grown-ass men carrying a giant sheet through the dark, grinding themselves to the bone so they don't have to look at a pretty stained glass window. Like, for real. Are you hearing that? It's the stupidest thing. I cannot say I find it amusing myself. Well, you're lost, buddy. Let's finish this up then, shall we? I assume the pulpit isn't nailed down, so we can use that to get some height. Seems to be enjoying himself. Can't imagine enjoying much of anything of that kind of condition. Not sure if I'll ever understand him. The way he's being so upbeat, it's kind of bringing me down. Why should him acting cheerful have any effect on me? Buried that emotion long ago. What are you doing here exactly? Huh? Haven't we been over this? I want to ask the witch. You're no fool. I don't need to tell you that the witch isn't real. For the past 2 weeks, I let Imion explore the house as he pleased. He'd likely seen everything but my chambers by now. Should have been obvious there was no third person living here. I was the only one who could hear the witch's voice. I was the only one who could feel her presence. All the servants my family sent over the years were proof of that. She may have existed for me, but from his perspective, there was no meaningful difference between that and her not existing at all. Remember what you said in the storeroom? There's not a chance in hell you're getting this up there. Not a chance in hell you're getting this up there alone. If you still believed the witch was real, if you still believed there was a third person living in this mansion, you wouldn't have said that. What do you want from this place? Somewhere to die? Do you want to make this your final resting place? Huh. Someone's feeling talkative today. This isn't funny. It's comfortable here. There's a warmth to the darkness. It doesn't reject me for being impure. Impure? That's what everyone says about me. I have no say in the matter. I have an impure disease that makes me impure. It's story time. What do you say? This time we'll go into a little more detail. My life was set. I had dozens of friends and a wonderful, loving family. I didn't bother with the family business, instead spending my days wandering. On one of my trips I got sick, and I got scared. So I rushed back home, wanting nothing more than to see my family and friends again. When I got there, no one recognized me as me. They called me a demon impersonating their Imia. Telling the Bollinger family is no need for Demon Child, that you're a mark of shame on our name, but he's gonna have you executed. He came to the consensus that the real Imion was still off traveling. He wouldn't accept me for who I was, just because I didn't look like what they thought I should. What does that have to do with my question? Basically, what I'm saying is, there's not many people who are willing to see the truth. The truth. I am who I say I am. And I am Imion, not some evil doppelganger. The only person who sees me as an ordinary fella is you, Mikhail. I do not agree with Father's decision. Do not want to lose you. Don't think you're a demon child. Don't misconstrue apathy for... I don't care why. All that matters is that you do. You see me for who I am, and that's the most amazing feeling. I haven't done anything to warrant that reaction. If there's one thing I can tell you, it's that it's foolish to rely on anyone for emotional support. Don't blindly put your trust in me, and don't expect anything out of me. Please. Like I said, I don't care why. As I stood there in silence, Imion's laugh echoed off the chapel's walls. He then climbed into the pulpit, which was probably brutal on his joints, though he didn't show it, crossed his legs, and looked up at the glass angel. His arms were thin as twigs, his voice raspy as an old man's, his hair devoid of all sheen, his entire body deteriorating. Even the most callous of men would cringe at the piteous sight. Yet he sat there, with his head held high, a smug smirk on his face. For a split second, the thought crossed my mind that if the name Mikhail didn't belong to me, but to him instead, he would have been able to just laugh off that painting. And as soon as I caught myself, I froze. Back to your question. What do you think? Why do I want to stay here, even though the witch doesn't exist? I knew what he wanted me to say, and I knew that I couldn't. I hadn't done a single thing to deserve that from him. What he felt was disproportionate to reality. Also, Topaz, how's it going? Hope your weekend went well. Hope your lurk goes well. Enjoy it. Silent treatment again? You figured it out, though. I know you have. There's your answer. If I were even half what I used to be, I'd love to drag you out of this house kicking and screaming. Travel far and wide together. Find the place you feel more at home than anywhere else in the world. Be nice, wouldn't it? Leave me out of your fantasies. He'd only think that way because he led such a cushy life. That may have come crashing down when he got sick, but only someone who had been well off would ever think there was hope to be found outside. And on top of that, he was simple and honest enough to admit it. Just jealous of him. That's all this is. Take a seat up here on the pulpit with me. Feels like you're shoving your ass right in God's face. Wish I tried this sooner. It's freaking incredible. It really is. Between the two of us, a guy who probably couldn't overpower a rabbit and someone on death's damn doorstep, covering up the stained glass window was a grueling task. That day marked a turning point in our relationship, though. It was an insignificant change, something I doubted anyone but us would have been able to notice, but it wasn't the degree that mattered. There was a real shift in the air between us. Mikhail didn't seem to be so persistently wary of me anymore, and I started to feel more relaxed in his presence. I didn't have to prove anything to anyone here. In part because he didn't pry into my personal life, but also because my time was so limited. I didn't have any reason to keep up a front anymore. The biggest factor, though, was that no one here knew who I was. From time to time, Himian and I would have supper together. I wasn't going out of my way to spend time with him, but I didn't particularly mind it either. I had no reason to. We stayed out of each other's business, and we both knew it was a temporary arrangement. As his disease worsened, his once exasperated vigor started to seem more and more obviously like a facade. When he spoke, it was like I could hear the remnants of his fading soul spilling out with each gravelly syllable. It was getting difficult to make out what he'd said at all, but still he persisted to act as though nothing was wrong around me. So I acted in kind, making sure not to touch on his deteriorating condition. You know, I never did get around to talking about my adventures. Nobody's stopping you. You can just be honest and say you want to hear them. I see it in your eyes. You love adventure stories. Not only that, you want to go on some yourself. It could not be further from the truth. Yeah, you know, nearly killing yourself to drag a blanket across an entire dark mansion with another person just to cover up a beautiful piece of art brings people together. Alright, let's see. How about the story of the Battle of the Northlands? About 5 years back, I was traveling the lands far north. Heavy snowfall covered the land in the winter, stretching as far as the eye can see. And with the arrival of spring, it would melt and rejuvenate the earth. Time and space. Well, I mean, space too. Even though he's always in the mansion sure does seem to be in different places. It's a lot colder up north than it is down here, but the lands were fertile nonetheless. And naturally, with this fertile land, there's people fighting over it. 2 countries, one to the east and one to the west, vied for control over this particular area. I watched the battle from the safety of a nearby hill. The theater for this battle was a large plain, a sea situated to the north. Separating the two was a river flowing south from the sea. It wasn't a very deep river, though. Both horses and infantry could cross it, albeit with some difficulty. Bonk. Bonk? Oh. I was so close, Ark. I was so close. I was like, damn, a bot that sends 2 messages? I don't think that would have like straight banned you or anything. I think it just denies the chat message, but it would have been really funny. It's the only words that have really worked for it, honestly, because they change everything else lately. Like, we have a bunch of stuff set, but they change everything else so frequently that only that seems to catch it lately. The Western Army attacked first. They outnumbered and were better equipped than the Eastern Army, the soldiers well-trained and commanders sharp. Planning and organization allowed them to cross the river with ease. And once they were on the other side, they stormed the Eastern Army. Now, how do you suppose the battle went? make for a very good story if the Western Army simply went on to defeat the Eastern Army. As you're asking, I presume the Eastern Army had something up their sleeve. Jeez, you're the worst kind of person to tell a story to, buddy. Play along at least, would you? I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not a child listening to a bedtime story. Well, you're right about one thing. I would have framed things differently if the Western Army was going to win. Maybe gone into detail about how advanced their equipment was, how strong their soldiers were, name dropped a commander or two. But no, the Western Army did not conquer the Eastern Army. In fact, you are both defeated. Oh? Yep, thanks to the intervention of a third force. Now, where do you suppose this mysterious third force came from? It was the Danes. You gotta be kidding me, you suck at this! Given what you described, two sides divided by a river flowing from the sea to the north, the larger Western Army crossing over to take the Eastern Army by surprise, the logical conclusion is that a third force would travel down the aforementioned river. Neither side had ships able to sail such shallow waters. They didn't anticipate an attack from the river. The Danes to the north, however, had numerous ships capable of exactly that. That's why they're feared as the lords of the sea. Yep, that's exactly right. Thanks for skipping all the good parts and going straight to the answer. Fleet of ships with dragon heads on them, on both ends, sailed down the river, after the Western Army crossed, quickly making land. The Danes are fearsome warriors, and big boys at that. They attacked both armies from behind, taking them out in no time. And the land fell into the hands of the invaders from the north. Then, once it was all over, I hauled ass right the hell out of there. Only read of the Danes' fearsome prowess in books. Here to witness an actual ambush. Jealous? See, what did I tell you? You're all about those adventure stories. I am not. Well, I sure am. The Danes, they can travel both shallow waters and the open seas. The whole world is at their fingertips. Everyone just thinks they're savages. They don't see their potential. Wonder what's out there, across the seas. What wondrous world awaits beyond those waters? It's heaven on earth out there. Land unlike anything you can find traveling on foot. So long as man infests the surface, you will find no heaven on this earth. Jeez. I knew you weren't a people person, but hot damn, you're worse than I ever imagined. You can't make it through life on misanthropy and cynicism alone. Someone needs to teach you how to dream, buddy. And dreams are just that. Fantasies never to be realized. Dreams are freedom. Doesn't matter if you're sick or a sinner, infirm or exiled, you can go anywhere inside your head. You have complete and absolute freedom in your dreams. All empty hopes and dreams do is erode the spirit. Gave up on mine for a reason. If I were in good health, I could have asked the Danes to take me on one of their longships. Bring me somewhere far, far away from here. Excuse me. A place where everyone's equal. No poor, no rich to oppress them. Yeah, that doesn't exist. That's a dream. No one being judged by their looks or the family they were born into. I hate to say. Admittedly, these days, way less the family you're born into. But it doesn't matter where you go. There are poor, there are rich, there are people being oppressed, and everyone judges you on your looks. I would almost argue more now than ever with, like, the internet and social media in general. But, yes and no. People definitely judge you for your looks now, but, like, at the same time, thinking of the story of what happened to Bestia, they judged him a little harshly based on just being Japanese. So, that's fair, Ramen, yeah. Well, people definitely judge people based on looks, but compared to some of the stuff we've read in this game, not that much. Not that badly. Could have gone on another adventure. Brought you along this time. Found our paradise. Pretty sure the only way you're getting on a long ship is as a captive to the Danes. Remember what I said about dreams? Like 3 seconds ago. Shove that silly realism into a box and lock it up. You can dream whatever sorts of crazy, outrageous nonsense you... Leon, don't worry about... Okay, so back to story time. After I escaped from the Danes, crossed paths with this incredible bard. This one's gonna blow your mind, I'm sure. I'm sure. I didn't tell him not to push himself. He knew his own condition far better than me. Didn't have to tell him that continuing was a bad idea. My role was to be quiet and listen. Oh, a ton, Robin. Yeah. Yeah. Yup. Absolutely. I mean, while the world in general is a good example of that, boy howdy is America specifically the poster child for that right now. Or maybe it just seems that way because I'm living here, mind you. But, who boy have I, in all of my years, never lived in a land where what somebody who votes for on a ballot so immediately decides everything else everyone thinks about them. Immediately, permanently, irreversibly? The idea of shades of gray is just so long gone from people's minds. The idea of circumstance, reasoning, factors outside a person's control, factors inside a person's control that they might not even realize, so far gone. I don't know if people hate more now. I think the world... Look, I truly do try to be a positive person. There's a lot of hate in the world. That's just a factual thing. I try not to add to that when possible. There are some things I hate, but I try not to, let it consume me. But I don't know if I could actively say there is more hate now than before, but I can say people seem quicker to jump to the hate. That's not quite what I'm looking for either, but yeah, it's not. I mean, it's still implied other, but it is definitely Man, I've definitely told this little snippet before, but the old animatronic suit dinosaur sitcom Dinosaurs, very funny, loved it in my days. Haven't seen it recently, but this singular episode of that show that I remember, and there were so many episodes of that show. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but the singular episode I remember is two opposing factions literally just... I don't even remember what they were fighting over. They're fighting over some petty bullcrap that just exploded, and everyone just kept writing "We are right" on their signs. They're like, what if there's a way we could abbreviate that? And they just end up going war. Yeah, I get it. Like, childhood philosophy stuff. Like, it's such a oh, I'm 13 and this is deep. I definitely wasn't even 13 at that point, but man, has that moment never seemed more accurate than now. We are right, they are wrong. So why listen to anything anyone has to say? Because they're already irredeemably wrong. So why? Yeah, it's definitely changed to more of that in modern days than, no gray areas, even though life is gray areas. Life is nothing but gray areas. There is no absolute good and absolute evil. No matter what you might think, there is no such thing. Everything is a gray area. Yeah, I myself try to be on the lighter side of that gray. There's definitely things that I firmly believe in a positive way. I know I was joking about my obvious mispronunciation of the name earlier, but I do have trans friends and know trans people, and I really do my best to respect them and what names and whatnot. If Mikhail was a real person and was correcting me on the name, I'd go by that corrected name. It's a fictional character that I mispronounced for so long that I'm sticking to, but that's not how I would do it if it was a real human being asking me to call him something different. Oh, yeah, of course. Which is human. That is such just a human thing. But we've decided to put so much value, so much weight in explicitly explicitly interacting with only people who drastically and directly align, that it's difficult for things to get better. I wanna foresee a future where this gets better, but it is so easy for me to look out and see people who would see someone with like a broken limb on the side of the road, who wore an article of clothing that maybe would show that they were of the opposing side of this whole deal, and would drive right past, not, helping a fellow human being who was injured. And that seems, mind you, I'm not talking any specific example, but like, it just seems like that's more how things are. And that's depressing. I wanna hope that that something happens, that something sparks a positive trend in things. But it's gotten so bad that like once all communication breaks down, it's hard for things to get better. When everyone is based on hatred because of assumptions, the way you cure those assumptions is by finding out. That's why I am a firm believer, as somebody who has not traveled a lot, I am a firm believer that going out, like I am a homebody who spends a lot of time indoors and doesn't travel, but I'm a very firm believer that expanding your worldview, going out, traveling, talking to a wider variety of people is only a good thing for everyone involved. I truly believe it. Again, as somebody who does not often do that stuff. So somebody who's too shy to talk to a random person on the street, it's really funny that I've spent a decade talking to strangers on the internet, but and the internet could have been that. And look, there are bits of the internet that are that. That straight up are. It is not the natural experience, yes, and you do have to do things that aren't straight social media, but like, one of my friends from college met a guy in VR chat in Europe. They started dating, they're married, and she's in Europe now. The world can be a much smaller place in a good way with things like the internet. You just gotta, gotta find the right spots. Get a little lucky. WoW was that for me, for sure. The earlier days of WoW, even the later days, I had guilds with people I'd be in voice chat with all night that were from all over. Generally speaking, all over the US. I haven't had too many from outside, but occasionally we've had viewers from outside the US, especially back when I used to do later nights. We used to get some of the European people around. Even Sage is in Europe. Old net, yeah. I mean, we got dragged into this. Like I don't know if there will ever be a time in human history where you can go to a place and not be judged in some way, on looks, on beliefs. And I don't think there will ever be a time in human history where there will not be a disparity between rich and poor, with somebody being, oppressed. It's unfortunate. We can aim to lessen that, obviously. I don't think that will ever happen. I try to be a positive person, but I think that's too ingrained in human nature. But I'd like to think things will get better. I really would. And mind you, they could. They really could. It's just, there's so many people just stoking hatred for their own gain. And just the overall mentality is such a negative one. I've commented on this so many times in Discord and on stream of how people being negative about things just gets more interactions on social media, so you will always see more of the negative stuff. People will actively spoil something because it will get comments on it from people complaining about it. People will always hate on something because more people will be like, oh yeah, that... Yeah, that's the thing that still bothers me. Like, but it's so hard to say that to people because they'll think you're not on their side. And I don't want to lose friends. I love my friends. I really do. And I'm not saying they would inherently make those assumptions or anything, but why would I risk that? Why would I risk it at all? Social media and just general news media, it's very funny that both sides say that the other side has the news lying to them without going, wait, I wonder if the news is lying to me. It's very, very... funny is not the word, but it's close. It's close. Like, oh, the other side only hears news that's full of lies and things just to rile them up and make them angry. It's like, you're so close. You're so close. You're not wrong. Just almost there. Yeah, and like, look, there is going to be some subset of people that I will never get along with. And that's okay. I will never truly understand somebody who is an outgoing, extroverted person who loves to travel the world and wants to spend their entire days outside and doesn't really care about video games, TV, music, anime. I'll never fully understand that person. We probably won't get along super well. That doesn't mean I wouldn't sit down and have a conversation. And I get it. The problem is everything is been taken to such insane extremes. Nothing is as, like, the picture I just painted is a very simple picture. Nothing's that anymore. Everything is life or death. Life or death to an even bigger extreme. You can't have a conversation with that. You can't. Once you've decided it is to that extreme, you can't have a conversation. And I see it so much in everyday life and just everywhere. Yeah. The 90s had their problems too, for sure. Like, I used to think it was just me noticing the overt separation and politicalness of things as I got older. I used to be pretty convinced that it was always that way. I just didn't notice because I was a kid. But I really do feel more and more that the separation is further now. Maybe not drastically further, but further. But there's no magical place you can go. Like, I'm talking about all this as a citizen who's lived their entire life in the United States, in their late 30s now. But I also am aware that there's no magic place I could just travel to in the world and move to where there would be no issues. There might be places that have, some pros. Maybe they're generally a little less of a difference between the obscenely wealthy and the obscenely poor. Maybe there's places that have better health care. But there is no place that is just, everything here is better. Everything here is perfect. Everyone's treated well by everyone. Those don't exist at all. Yeah, all of the normal human hatred and animosity was pointed elsewhere. Now it's all pointed inwards. And in the 90s, we had a slightly better economy. Things were kind of on the up and up. Yeah. They're built on probably doing something really bad to some peoples outside of your country. which is not good nor sustainable nor good in any way. Man. How the hell did Fata Morgana, like, I know how Fata Morgana got us on this. I was here for the whole thing. But, like, how the hell did this happen? Oh, there are so many people who are convinced that the AI is a bubble that's gonna burst. And, like, I've made my stance on this fairly clear. As somebody with very creative and artistically minded friends, I am pretty damn against generative AI. Specifically of the art type. I have no interest in the writing type, but that's my stance. I do not think AI is going anywhere. I think too many higher up people, I think too many governments, I think too many militaries, I think too many companies have invested too much money in it. It will never go away. I do think there will end up being a divide. There will be the people who are like, no, I refuse to do that, and their work will probably be more, hopefully be more respected, but that's one of those things that's just, there are people who are like, that it's a bubble, it's going to burst. I don't think so. It would be nifty, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's too many big players invested and involved for it to burst. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. If you could predict them ahead of time, yeah. The world always is in flux and changing. AI is just a pivot point that is very obviously changing things. It's usually much more of a, subtler, over time type thing. But generative AI is specifically a thing that is forcing a change quickly. And at least in my years, there's nothing that's been quite as changing quite as fast. You could argue the popularization of the internet, but I would still say that was slower of an effect. Not by a lot. Oh, yeah, the only way you can predict economics is to make the economy and to influence it yourself personally. Like, yes, sure, you could gamble that a stock is going to go down right before you yourself close that company. Yeah. That'll work. That's the only way, though. Like, insider trading is the only way to predict the economy. You can follow general trends, sure. That's still a gamble. It always will be. Unless you're insanely wealthy and you know things about things that are already going to happen. In which case, that's definitely not the majority of the big leaders on the stock market, right? Yeah, or things like that. Crazy things, like, the economy. I've long since decided not to, I don't own any stocks or anything. I admit I owned a little bit of GameStop for a bit. I was one of those guys. I wasn't not one of those guys on the rooftop shouting about it, but I did try to make some money off that, and I did not make any money off of that. That's life. That's okay. Sometimes you don't make money. Well, yeah, now I've got savings. I mean, I had savings then too, but now I've got split between a few things, but it's mostly high interest savings with a separate account of some money that I know could go up or down depending on the stock market. But yeah, that might have been one of the longer tangents. I don't even know when we started that one. What else is new, though? Yeah. It wasn't about cheese this time. No food was involved in that. Might have gone longer if food was involved. Let's be honest. Alright. Let me get a sip of my drink before we go back to the actual game. Right before everyone left for the con, I was like, man, I haven't had much. Usually I just do water with a little bit of the Mio stuff or the water, with a little liquid additives, or just straight water. But they were having a sale on big honkin', how much is this? This is a 64 fluid ounce, 2-quart bottles of the pure leaf tea. So they were 3 for $9. I just got 3 of these. and it's funny. I finished one of them, but it's really funny just like on stream taking a huge bottle. They're good. I've always liked these. Yeah, I only ended up going through one of them. I'm literally opening the second one right now. So I did not end up going through them. I also bought a bunch of Dr. Pepper, but like I have been really cutting down on the soda I've drank. So I bought 2 6-packs of Dr. Pepper, and I've drank 3 of them over the weekend. So that's going to last me a good while, thankfully. It's still, let's be honest, I still drink too much soda, but I drink way less than I did in previous points in my life. But it's only a good thing to cut soda out. I'm aware of that. Maybe it's tangents like this that make these chapters last several streams longer than normal. You think? Nah, maybe. Imion then sang for me a song he supposedly learned from... Imion sparking all this conversation. Ending thoughts of all that, I do still want to be hopeful. Like, I still try to be hopeful in general, and on a more personal level, I try to add more positivity to the world than I add negativity. There are still some things I will always be negative about. I am not going to be positive about Activision putting out any games that are going to be good to their employees or anything anytime soon. But outside of bigger corporations, try to be better, you know. Yeah. I could sing way better than this back then, he said with a strained laugh before beginning the raspy ballad. Every note melted into a sort of indistinct flat buzz, but it was still somehow pleasant to listen to, perhaps because I could imagine what his voice may have sounded like in its prime. A bright, optimistic, unwaveringly powerful voice, all the more enchanting because it existed only in my imagination. As I listened to him sing, so much that I'd kept sealed away slowly crept back to the surface. It felt like I was being whisked away into the far distant world by the tales of his exploits and the bard song. With Imion, his hand held out, waiting to take mine, the words, "Let's set off on to a new world, buddy," on his lips. But his time on this earth was drawing to a close. Those fantasies fated to fade to nothing. Yeah, it sounds like Limited Run is not doing well by you, I hate to say. Sorry to hear. Yeah, that is a plus. We were pretty worried about that with Grimm's copy of Labyrinth of Galeria, that it was just going to be swallowed whole by the mail and never arrive. So like, thankfully it's a known issue, but it's not a good issue for somebody who wanted to play their game. Obviously. Thankfully, Grimm's did arrive, and thankfully, when they eventually get their nonsense together and ship yours out, I'm sure yours will arrive too. It's just a matter of when. But don't worry, they made sure to take your money already. Sure, the money's already done with. But don't worry about it. You aren't seriously going to make friends with him, are you? Thought you were better than that. Or do you think you'll get something out of this? Well, you're sorely mistaken. You've forgotten what you truly are, and gotten it into your head you can be equals with him. Maybe Morgana has more in common with what we were talking about these days than not. Your heart brims with blight, yet here you are, grasping at companionship, knowing full well it's all but a fleeting illusion. What do you have to gain from forging a friendship with him? Already tired of me, are you, my dear? Very well, I shall take my leave. Despite what they may say, I'm a very kind-hearted girl. To those whose fates are sealed, that is. I pray you're blessed with wonderful dreams tonight. That night, I had a dream. Not a nightmare, nor a dream of the past. A warm, pleasant, slightly bittersweet dream. I hadn't had one like this in quite some time. An endless field stretched out before us. We pushed our way through the sea of waist-high grass, pressing onward towards the ever-distant horizon. A spring breeze whipped past, caressing my cheek. At my side stood a man beaming as bright as the sun. He had hair of deep scarlet, like the color of the setting sun. His eyes were unflinching, his lips showing his strong resolve. His chest was smooth and muscular, and he had a musky scent. It was my first time seeing his face, but I knew exactly who he was. Not much further now, the man spoke. Our paradise is just up ahead. His lips curled up. It was a smile that might look condescending on any other face, but on his it seemed perfectly natural, not a trace of disdain. In fact, anything but a cocky smirk would have seemed out of place, which made reality that much more bitter. Here on the other side of the sea, in this beautiful land, no one will think less of us for anything. If someone happens to find out about you, no one's going to make a big deal out of it. No one's going to be afraid of my disease. I was well aware of the fact it was a dream, though it was a rather cruel one. And I thought it a rather cruel one. The man was right. I did love adventure stories, and I did want to go on one of my own. This was the very thing I had wished for since I was a child. Two men setting out together, freed from obligations, on a journey to see the world, exploring the unknown and sharing that experience with a dear friend. But it could never happen. Not so long as I was who I was, and not so long as Imian was sick and on the verge of death. It was a dream we could never make come true, no matter how badly we wanted it, no matter how hard we fought for it. Well, yeah, and again, as we know now, she was hurt the strongest, and they definitely never got to heal. Well, till the ending. Yeah. Like, for sure, she sure does have her reasons. It only took 1,000 years, give or take, you know. It wasn't an entirely impossible dream, though. There was one part of it that could become reality. The two of us becoming friends. It was probably enough time before he died for me to get close enough to tell him how I really felt. That I just wanted a friend. That I wanted to be able to laugh and frown and get upset like any ordinary guy. Like him. There may be time, but there's not enough. I'd spent too much of my life isolated. I'd almost irreversibly adapted to the solitude. Breaking through that shell would be no easy task, especially not with my unspeakable secret hovering over me. The very fact of my nature, which had transformed me from the namesake of an angel into an abominable demon that didn't deserve to live. Something I couldn't tell anyone, couldn't let anyone find out. Which meant that a normal friendship was impossible for me to form. And I knew that far too well. That night I had a dream. Not a nightmare, nor a dream of the past. A warm, pleasant, slightly bittersweet dream. I hadn't had one like this in quite some time. An endless field stretched out before us. We pushed our way through the sea of waist-high grass, pressing onward towards the ever-distant horizon. A spring breeze whipped past, caressing my cheek, and at my side stood a man with a somewhat forlorn look on his face. He had long silver hair that fluttered in the wind. A darkness was visible beneath the pale red of his eyes, and his lips were furrowed into a half-scowl. He was tall enough that I had to look up at him. The man furrowed his brow, as if to scorn the shining sun for daring to be brighter than the candlelight he was so used to. It's my first time getting a good look at him. I might have gotten some of the smaller details wrong, but he was still very distinctly the Mikhail I knew. I pointed toward the horizon and said, "That's where our paradise awaits." He didn't seem to believe we would actually find anything, but still he joined me on my endless journey with nary a complaint. So all it takes is bringing him into my dreams to drag the cynicism out of him, huh? I thought. Then with a laugh I said, "We'd make pretty good friends, don't you think?" His eyes swam for a few moments before he finally muttered a response. "Many years ago, I dreamed of having something like that. Gotta be a little more specific. Like my two brothers. Keep going. Someone I could share anything with and could do the same with me. Someone who understands me without need of words. Huh. Classic image of a friend. Two guys who've always got each other's backs." Mikhail crossed his arms and turned his head away. He might have even blushed, but I couldn't see for sure. I had mixed feelings, though mostly I was glad to hear he felt that way, and I wanted to make that dream come true. It'll be just like that, you'll see, buddy. Another breath of wind blew past. I was pretty sure I was smiling, the way I always did, the way I always pretended to. A self-confident, utterly vacuous smirk. If we really got to know each other, there was no way we would ever be friends. True friendship was impossible to achieve between us, and I knew that far too well. Nerve gear. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, clearly neither of them's super. They've got some past. I woke in darkness in a house where the time of day held no meaning. The same sight awaited me every morning. Before I had grown fully accustomed to a world without light, the uncertainty of it had occasionally morphed into fear. Same secret? Maybe. I mean, we already know they're so diseased we couldn't even tell what they were. My instincts racing, I presumed. The danger was harder to perceive in the dark, after all. Once I had gotten used to it, the darkness felt almost compassionate with its indiscriminating embrace, and now I was more stable here than I was on the light. This morning was an unusually pleasant one, though. All my problems were still my problems, my curses still curses, but it felt like I had managed to break the surface and catch my breath for the first time in who knows how many years. Perhaps I could thank the dream I had. I rolled out of bed, grabbing the candlestick off my nightstand. With the remains of the mostly melted old one, I lit a new candle and headed for the door. Next on my list was the fireplace. I tried to make sure there was always at least a small flame. But as soon as I stepped out into the hall, what are you doing there? I found myself face to face with Imian, although that wasn't an entirely accurate description, as he was slouched against the wall across from my door. Morning, Mikhail. Couldn't help but cringe at the sight of him, still insisting on keeping up his everything's alright act. What are you doing? Seems pretty obvious to me. Well, it isn't to me. You're clearly in no condition to be walking around. It's come. What has? My time? The light from the candle fluttered about, slightly offset from the trembling in my bony hand. But Imian, he was visibly shaking, enough that I probably could have seen it even without the dim candlelight. Not out of fear or cold, but simply a physiological reaction to his condition. His breath sounded like puffs of wind, the whoosh of a bitter winter morning echoing in the hall. His arms and legs were so atrophied that if I didn't know better, I might think him a small tree withering away in the fierce cold at first glance. My gaze slowly drifted downward, stopping at his splayed arms. Blotches of red were visible on the palms of his hands. Did you cough that up? I most reflexively made to draw nearer, but he stopped me after only one step. No, stay back. Don't touch me. You might catch it. We've been living here together, breathing the same air. If I were going to catch it, I would have already. The fact that I haven't shows that it's not an infectious disease. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, you shouldn't touch the blood. You know, as well as I do, that blood is unclean. It carries everything in our bodies, even diseases. You may be able to catch it from the blood, even if you didn't from anything else. So I figured I'd drop on by, say our goodbyes. Say your... Stop myself before finishing the sentence, realizing just how foolish it would make me sound. I was the one who had told him to leave when he knew his time was up. That was back then. It was just how I felt when he first showed up. I'm real lucky. I have maybe a couple days left. I've been hiding it, but it's been hard to even stand these last few days. You did a terrible job of it. Although, I didn't realize you were in quite such bad shape. Well, I guess I got a passing score on my acting then. Why do you laugh about this? In a great mood. It's ridiculous, you can't be. Just drop the act already. It's no act, bud. I'm serious. I'm feeling great. had a fantastic time. What better way to show that than with a nice laugh? Looking down on this man, laughing as death crept closer, I didn't feel pity or sorrow or anguish. I was angry. My chest clenched and my stomach lurched. How aggravating. There was something else there, too. Some other way I could describe it. But I didn't know what that feeling was. I couldn't draw it to the surface. It was aggravating, frustrating, sickening. Those simple, negative emotions were what I kept falling back to. I wanted to block it all out. Leon's deteriorating body, that comforting dream, my own circumstances, this dark mansion, the whole world. I had an amazing time here with you. Seriously. Stop it. You're just getting sentimental, letting your emotions cloud your memory. I've done nothing for you. Think about your time before you got sick, when you were with your friends and family. Think about the time you spent traveling. Then you realize how insignificant your time here really was. It was all a lie. What? I was never a traveler. My name isn't even Imion. I never went to the Northlands, and I never saw the Danes. Even what I said about having a ton of friends, all lies. Here's the truth. I look like I came from the slums now, but I was born into a decently upper-class family. My father and brothers all owned several estates. I wasn't traveling when I got sick, but at home. For a while, I was kept locked up to keep it under wraps. I spent my life doing everything asked of me for them, and they turned on me the second I caught this damn disease. Servants I thought respected me, the brothers I thought loved me, they all wanted nothing to do with me anymore. Before long, they started saying it was punishment for my transgressions, that I was cursed to transform into a hideous monster because I deserved it. Real small family, huh? Yeah, you don't say. The disease hadn't progressed this far then either, so I still looked, well, half decent at least. Pretty damn good looking guy, if I do say so myself. So I used that to manipulate one of my maidservants into helping me escape. That's how my life as a nomad really began. So while I was something of a traveler, I was carrying some pretty big luggage along with me. Everywhere I went, I was treated like garbage. The Imion you met, brimming with self-confidence, was all an act. Sorry for lying to you. Why? Why did I pretend to be someone I'm not? Because. No, I don't care about that. Why didn't you say something sooner? Damien's story, his life, was painfully similar to my own. Been called a demon, mocked and insulted, made out to be a madman, then locked away where no one could see me. Everyone I had thought to be on my side turned against me. They should have told me. Cracks began to form in the thick shell I had spent so long building around myself. Sharp claws dug their way through the flesh of my heart, which I had thought long since numb. Thick blood seeped from within me. It was absurd. If anyone here was hurting, it was Imion. But I had known. If I had known, could have done something? Is that where I was going with this? I could have told him all about my own past. We could have bonded over our suffering. No, wasn't how it would have gone. If Imion had told me what he had been through right off, I would have seen so much of myself in him that I had likely detested him for it. I wouldn't have wanted to get to know him better. I wouldn't have wanted to even see him. I suspected pretty early on that you'd been through something similar. That you weren't here of your own will. From your mannerisms, that you came from a noble family. Which is why I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want you to think that was why I was here. I didn't stay because we both led tragic lives. It's not why I found it so comfortable here. Everything about how I presented to you was a facade, which is precisely why I was able to be myself. I can't tell you how wonderful it felt for you to accept me for me. I didn't. You didn't have to do anything. That was enough. Set me free. I could feel sweat trailing down the back of my neck. Couldn't follow along, couldn't make sense of what he was saying. My heart was wavering, but I couldn't put any of it into words. What were you supposed to say to that? I hadn't the first idea. And with the way I had lived my life, the way I had closed myself off, I never would know. So I Thank you. Goodbye, Mikhail. Leon let out a long sigh, like his nerves had loosened all at once now that he had said his piece. He then climbed to his feet using the wall for support, let out a couple muffled coughs, and started off down the hall, leaving me behind. Wait, Imion. Shackles around my spirit were on the verge of coming off. Everything I'd worked so hard to bury was bubbling to the surface. The man I'd killed in order to survive in this empty darkness was being infused with life anew. I was opening myself up. Wait, I lied too. I mean, what I said then isn't true now. I don't want you to leave anymore. I don't care if you've only got a few days left. If you'll last longer here than you will, you'll last longer in here than you will out there. So what? It's gonna take me to nurse me? Exactly. Huh. Hit me on. It's damn tempting, but no thanks. Why? Sorry. Why? First person I'd ever met who I could possibly call an equal, a friend, was trying to withdraw from my life. Forever. Something inside me cracked, and something inside me formed anew. Morgana! 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 I know you're listening! Mikhail. Cure him, please! It's enough, Mikhail. Witch isn't just a legend. She doesn't have a physical form, but she lives here in this mansion, and she's somewhere nearby watching everything. Really, it's okay. Believe me. I do believe you. Hit me on. It's okay. Thank you. Why are you so insistent on leaving? Didn't you want to talk to the witch? Just think, now's the best time to call it quits. But why? I do feel bad about this, for what it's worth. And I'm seriously grateful to you too. It doesn't tell me why. Sorry. I want you to take what you're feeling right now and keep it with you. What? Seeing the person in yourself will help you see the person in someone else when you next have that chance. Whoever that is, you take him by the hand and get out of here. Go somewhere you both want to be. You may not find paradise, but you'll have a life. What on earth are you talking about? Alright, now I'm seriously on my last legs. Can't even fake that I'm okay anymore. Beyond. So long. Wait! Kale. I think we made pretty good friends, don't you? And with that, he marched off down the dark hallway. It's almost unbelievable how sure-footed he seemed compared to only a few moments earlier. Then I realized what it was. His final show of self-confidence. Could have easily caught up to him, but my feet seemed to be rooted to the ground. Maybe because I knew that even if I stopped him, it wouldn't stop me from losing him. Because anything I did would amount to nothing. I slowly dropped to my knees. The candlestick spilled from my hand, the flame flickering out, a heavy darkness draping the hallway. Excuse me. I covered my face and let out a sharp, bitter groan. He had lived here less than a month. We barely knew each other well enough to call ourselves acquaintances, never mind friends. There was no reason for me to be feeling this emptiness, but telling myself that didn't make the pain go away. The pain of having something dear snatched away from you. And I had never, ever wanted to have to experience again. But I could hear the witch cackling, whispering that opening myself up only made me vulnerable. That bringing the dying man into my house was only ever going to leave me feeling all the more lonely. That I always belonged in darkness. Yeah, I mean, I like to think that he formed the first cracks that maybe did let Giselle in. Maybe. Not light. Thank God he left the bar off. Barely got enough in me to push the door open. Is that really how you want to do this? Oh, it's you. Calling me surprised. Figured you'd be with Mikhail. Here to see you off for him. You mean you decided you'd get more entertainment out of me? A girl with long braided hair stood before me, a smile spread across her lips. Her form was vague, almost a silhouette, and I couldn't make out any details, but I still knew exactly who she was. This wasn't my first encounter with the witch, after all. Been able to see her and hear her voice since shortly after arriving at the mansion. Wonder if it's because he was so near death. Like, I wonder if her being a being very much of death and spite, I wonder if being that close to death kind of weakened the veil a bit. When I told Mikhail that I believed she existed, I wasn't just saying it. I knew. You're quite the seasoned liar, making out like you're coming clean, and then replacing one set of lies with another. You can still go back and make it right. Tell him the truth and you'll have my wish. Think about it, my dear. A few days after taking up lodging at the mansion, the witch appeared before me. She spoke in a pretty but almost childlike voice, explaining how unusual it was that I could see her, because evidently no one with a trace of hope in their heart is capable of seeing me. They can't hear my voice or even sense my presence. The despair that coursed through Mikhail is what served as the catalyst for my resurrection. You're not here to be healed. You want to put a curse on someone, don't you? That's right. Your eyes don't lie. I'm honestly kind of floored right now. First, the Witch of Legends is real, and second, she's not even human. A mortal could neither cause miracles nor cast curses. Fair enough. So, how'd you know what I really wanted? It's obvious, my dear. All that murky filth swirling beneath your smiling visage. It's like a window directly into your soul. Sounds like there's no hiding anything from you. So, can I just drop the act, huh? Tell me you at least can't hear everything I'm thinking. And what if I can? I'd appreciate a little bit of privacy. Fear not, my dear. I don't have the ability to read your mind, no. But you should know that the world as you living see it and the world as I see it are very different things. Emotions such as your seething animosity and desire to curse, as well as fragments of your memory, are all laid bare to me. I normally wouldn't bother sparing anyone a moment of my time. I have a mission to accomplish, and I would like Mikhail to accompany me on the long journey to its completion, so I don't have time to distract myself with anything else. If you were indeed nothing but a needlessly optimistic fool come in search of miracles, I would have done everything in my power to chase you out. So I can assume the fact that I'm still here means you've taken at least something of an interest in me then. Indeed, but you were broken enough to come seeking me. And I'll get straight to the point. I want you to curse my family. Every last one of those damn Castaneers. It's my final wish. The last thing I want from this life. Yeah. So, it was definitely going to be a great marriage if that happened, obviously. Yeah. I gave my whole life for my family. Sacrificed everything. They repay me with derision, hell, making me into a demon. You know? Maybe the joining of those two families wouldn't have been that bad. It sounds like they had a lot in common. At least the parents definitely did. The parents sure did. Holy crap. I'm sure the parents would get off swimmingly. Just 4 peas in a pod. I'm here, sick and miserable, and no one gives a rat's ass. They need to experience the living hell I had to endure. Can't go in peace until they have. It'd be my pleasure. Wait, seriously? What, do you not believe me? No, I just didn't think it would be that easy. On one condition, though. I will offer my sincerest wishes for your family's utter devastation, so long as you offer me something in return. Now that sounds more like the witch I was expecting. So what do you want from me? My life, a sack of gold. My resources are a bit limited, but let's hear it. Mikhail's spirit. Excuse me? Told you, I wanted Mikhail to accompany me on my journey. too much of his worldly concerns remain for him to be of any use to me right now. He still racks his mind over trifling drivel. That stone-faced Mikhail? He has actual worries? It's all an act. For now, that is. I want you to crush his spirit, transform into something more fitting for my purpose. Then I will make your wish mine. That sweet voice makes what you're asking all the more frightening. So how do I go about it? Start by using your head, my dear. It's worth a shot. That said, I will give you a hint. You have at your disposal everything you need to become exactly what he desires most. It didn't take long around Mikhail to figure out what the witch meant. There was one thing he very clearly sought, and it was something I was presently capable of making myself into. I had everything one would need to slip through the cracks in the wall around his heart. I was on the verge of death. I didn't know a thing about him or his personal life. And I was a man. Mikhail seemed to have trust issues when it came to women. He had no interest in a lover or a romantic partner, but a peer, a male friend. I guessed Mikhail had probably been subjected to countless betrayals over the years. His mother, father, siblings, loved ones, but probably never at the hands of a friend. I doubted he'd even had a real friend before. So Morgana's proposal was for me to become his friend, and then betray him. There's still time for you to go back in there and reveal everything. To see your wish to fruition. You could even ask for a miracle instead of a curse. To rid what ails you. Don't bother. Not interested in any of that anymore. Just gonna go back out into the forest and die. So nope, you won't get me to go back there. Don't understand. What on earth brought you to this decision? I stopped caring about getting back at my family. That hatred was what had kept me going for so long. It was what had driven me to wander in search of the cursed mansion. I had, in service of it, feigned getting friendly with Mikhail, until at some point it stopped being fake. I had found something more valuable than petty vengeance, and I wanted to live the rest of my life and then die for that. With a bit more time, maybe I could have even told him that he'd pulled me up from such a dark place. And then, were it within my power, I'd like to have done the same for him. But that was a dream beyond my reach. He would have to remain in his darkness for a while yet. I can understand losing interest in cursing them, but you're ignoring the other part of my offer. I could wish for a miracle. Perhaps you don't believe the cursed witch can perform miracles, but you would be mistaken, my dear. In life, do you know what I was called? A saint. Well, you're a saint with one hell of a mean streak. Ooh, not false. Again, justified as hell, but still not false. My, now that was hardly called for. Really? Really? I'll pass a new miracle too. Can't imagine it comes free of charge when the curse had a price. You want me to go in and tell him everything, right? What do you have to lose? What possible reason could there be for you to hesitate? That should be obvious, even to you. I want him to think of me as a friend. He is what he wanted, after all. A peer, a male friend. So if I'm going to go, I want to go out as that. You would give up your chance at life for something so utterly meaningless. I don't care how stupid you think it is. I didn't have enough time to pull him out of his dark place, but if at the least he remembered me as a friend, and that had some positive effect on him, however insignificant, I much prefer that to anything the witch was proposing. Just don't you go blabbering once I'm gone. I can't make any promises, my dear. You say a word to him, and I'll curse you. My heavens, are you picking a fight with a witch? Do you honestly believe you can curse me? You bet I can. I could well turn a witch just like you. I could well turn into a witch just like you once I'm dead. You very well could. You have all the makings of a fine witch. But you can rest easy, my dear. I won't be saying anything to him about you, because you're too inconsequential to be worth mentioning again. I beg your pardon? At the end of it all, the only one Mikhail truly needs is me. What he wants is a curse, and I'm the only one who can provide it. He pretended to be his friend for a few weeks, but in a year's time, the memory will have eroded it away into nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah, the arm out portrait's always very good. And yeah, like it definitely looks a lot like intentionally clearly has remnants of Morgana in their portrait. Your death will amount to nothing. All you did was cast a light on his isolation, and sooner or later, I'll transform him into an inhuman spirit who lives only to spread curses, much like myself. That I can say you're wrong about. There's more care and understanding in him than you realize. He hides it, but it's there. Don't fool yourself. The whole world isn't going to bend to your whims, Morgana. There's nothing left that I could do. I couldn't leave any more of a mark on him, nor could I free him from her grip. But someday, someone would appear. Man, woman, friend, lover, didn't matter. Someone would enter his life, take him by the hand, and lead him out of this cursed mansion. Someone would drag him out of his darkness. Well, you turned out to be quite the disappointment. Everything I once saw in your eyes has been purified away into nothing. Mark my words, all your hopes will be in vain. And you can watch from the afterlife, helpless as everything I said comes to pass. And I'll be praying from the pearly gates that you're wrong. Well, this is where we part ways then. Farewell. No, I may. Definitely, I don't even know how to do the accent mark. I'm not going to look it up because I don't even know how to do the accent mark. It's fine. Till our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Looks like this is as far as I go. Can't see a damn thing anymore. Do they really just reverse? Okay. But hey, could be worse. I feel like I've been set free. Look, they weren't in any place to rack their brains over a fake name. When you're at most a month away from death from an incurable, really messed up disease, I get it. I get it. Like all my shackles have been loosened. I found one thing to appreciate about this disease. It gave me the one chance in my life to be myself. Yes, Alucard, definitely. Hey, Mikhail, we're not that different after all. You were my first friend too. My real name was Noemi Castaner. Simeon, the name I went by, was just my first name spelled backwards. Yeah, I noticed. But truth be told, I was pretty fond of it. Anything else I might have come up with would have probably given away my gender straight off. Nearly everything I told Mikhail was a lie. From claiming I was a guy to the story of my escape, I hadn't used my good looks to trick a maidservant into helping, but instead manipulated a manservant. Looking back on it now that it was all over, I felt like the fake me, Simeon, was more me than the real thing. I'd always felt constricted my whole life. Nothing but barriers from the day I was born. I loved playing music, writing stories, running, riding a horse, swinging a sword, anything that gave me some sort of freedom. But I was only allowed that until I was about 10 years old, at which point my life became training in everything I needed to be married off to some noble man. Still remember those days vividly, sitting stone still staring out the window while I had my portrait painted, caught sight of a large bird taking off to fly north, watching it flap its heavy wings. I fantasized about riding the bird off somewhere far away, to a beautiful, boundlessly lush land no one had ever seen before. I would found my own nation, and I would be its first citizen. I would be a land without unfair rules and customs, a land where everyone was equal, man, woman, young, old, a smile on everyone's face, and you would be free to choose who you spent your life with. There would be no nobility, there would be no slaves, and in this land, I would finally be able to find my true self. Mikhail? Oh, goodness, what are you doing in here? Or, Michelle, sorry. Oh, Mom, Mother. Still looking at that painting, are you? Yes, there's something about it. You agree with me, don't you? It's a wonderful proposition, but your brothers never seem to want to listen to me. This is a person who's gone their entire life never once being told they were wrong about something, and truly believing that they can't be. I'll have to return the painting to the Castaneras, and after they went through all the trouble. Indeed. But all that aside, it's time for supper, Michelle. We're celebrating Didier's return tonight, so don't you dawdle. You need to be there and show him how much you love him. Yes, Mother. Be right down. Don't keep us waiting. It's been bothering me. I couldn't take my eyes off the painting of the Castanere girl, but I think I figured it out. A forlorn look in her eyes. It's more than resignation in those eyes. A trace of longing lurked within them as well. She was looking out at a faraway world, distant not only in physical location from her own, but in time as well. A boundless dream dwelled within her heart. I found myself slipping into her place, fantasizing about that same distant land, a place where I was allowed to be myself. And if by some chance I were able to make it there, would I find you there, Noemi? Think we made pretty good friends, don't you? Those were his last words before disappearing into the darkness. Their time together was brief, and they knew nearly nothing of each other, so could they in fact be called friends at all? Could you be friends with someone so nearly a stranger? You didn't know where they came from, or who they truly were beneath the surface. Had they known, though, were they aware of each other's inner selves, never would they have been able to become friends at all. We made pretty good friends. It was precisely because the two knew nothing that they were able to know one another. A friend by any other name. Definitely a slightly shorter chapter. Do we start this one? If this one's as short as the one we just did, it almost seems wrong to cut it in two by starting it now, but it's only 10:30. We can get an hour and a half out of it. But if it's about to say, if it's going to be a one streamer, it almost seems wrong to split it into two streams. It might be shorter, but I don't know if it's going to be an hour and a half short. Mind you, we did take like a half-hour tangent detour, but this was still in the ballpark of 2 hours. About the same length. Which means we'd get to like the very tail quarter of it before cutting it off. I think I'm going to cut it here, and next week we'll hit it. Next weekend, I'm going to try to go into the city. I would rather go Saturday, but if Saturday looks like it's going to have bad weather, I'm going to go Sunday. We'll play this whichever of those days I'm not in the city. The ideal is I go to the city Saturday, maybe don't stream when I come back because it'll be a long day, and then I'll stream this Sunday. But if I end up going Sunday, I'll stream this Saturday. If I end up not going to the city at all this weekend, which is a possibility, I'll end up going the weekend of Halloween, and then we'll figure something out then. But that's the current plan. I gotta check with roommates when they come home tomorrow to see if like that'll work for the weekend. If there were other plans, I don't know. But I think this will be a good weekend for it. It'll give me some time to get some Christmas gifts before it gets cold. Though I don't hate the city in the cold. Yeah, there's still a question mark after the... well, no, that's not a chapter select. I know that's not a chapter select because I checked this chapter select, and this one goes through the main game, and then it goes through the chapters we were going through. So it could be extras, even though that's still blocked out on the main screen. But this chapter select does let you... Because I was looking earlier, just out of curiosity. And this one actually does go through... Yeah, Requiem for Innocence. So, like, and it should theoretically go... This is where it stopped earlier. Now it should have one more page, because of what we did earlier. Yep, there you go. So, it's not chapter select. I can say that with decent certainty. Also, I like that all the different menus have different art. I like the art. We'll have to figure out what the extras art is at some point, but not yet. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. This has been Viper Survivorland. Going through all... Man, that chapter was so much shorter. It was exactly how long it needed to be. I don't think it needed to be longer. It was a quick hit. 15 tickets when you get to Mineko. Ugh. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Seems like the next chapter will be a bit shorter. There might be another one after that. I'm really curious to get to reincarnations, but I don't want to skip ahead. We could at this point, but I don't want to. I want to keep going in order. We've started in order. I'm going to keep going in order. I have to assume there's no, like, paths from here on out. We got all the endings of the base game. I have to assume all these are just stories going through. Got ourselves a monster. A quote. A Discord. It is so funny to me that they are called kinetic visual novels when kinetic is energy and motion and movement. And the entire concept of a kinetic visual novel is it does not have that. I don't know why that's the term for it. I accept that's the term for it because it is, but it is such a bad term for it. But it's obviously so ingrained, like there's no changing it. It's so weird because when I think of kinetic and kinetic energy, I think of motion. Punch you in the gut. Yeah. I always can soar. I always can. Oh, I didn't also do a... Do you know what? You saw barrels. So why not? Marketing term. Okay. We will soon have voice text. Yeah. Stuck for the whole genre. Alright. It's not like it's a bad term. It's just counterintuitive, I guess. Weirdly ill-fitting, but it works. And I agree. It does seem like all of the extra stuff here is kinetic, which fine. That makes sense. They told the story with the endings they wanted to tell, and now these are just straight through. Cool. I'm enjoying them. And or damaged by them. 50-50. It's a visual novel. Oh yeah, you had mentioned reincarnation was voiced. I imagine the short stories would be 2 then, because they share the similar like anime art style here, so I have to assume those were both similar editions. But yeah. Cool. All this week, gonna be Silent Hill 2. The weekend, as I said, we will see what happens. When we finish Silent Hill 2, we're gonna hit Slitterhead. When we finish Slitterhead, we're gonna hit Dead Space. When we finish Dead Space, I have no hecking idea. We don't have anything left to finish other than all the stuff we joke about, but like realistically, I think we finished everything. Oh no, Nine Souls. Duh. But after Nine Souls, I don't think we had anything. Nine Souls is... I'm looking forward to going back to it, but I'm dreading my lack of stuff. There's Mana Khemia too, yeah. I don't think we have anything else like actively on hold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't. I could stream Lies of P. At some point I do want to sit down and play that, but that might be a off-camera thing too. Like I played maybe the first few hours of it when it came out, and I just got distracted and haven't gone back. Yeah, I don't think we had anything else actively on hold. I mean Nekoparo, but that can stay on hold forever. Technically I streamed a little bit on Onichambara once, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Star Ocean, but also no thanks. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't even know what we would do after that, but maybe that'll be stuff that takes us to time. I don't know. And it's a normal midweek game. Yeah, I could. I won't, but I could. You're right. Nothing's stopping me. Sanity. Just start streaming in the middle of SC. That's fair. We did it with Yakuza. See, that's the problem, though. Like, I don't want to commit to that on stream, and even if I did, I think there'd be nothing crazier for me to do than committing to that and Umineko on stream. I think the combination of those two just means we don't play other games. Ever. Like, ever. No other games would get played. We would turn into a Trails channel. Which isn't the worst thing that could happen, but I like playing other games. That's the whole reason I'm not a solely Monster Hunter channel. Oh, it's way more of a commitment than Umineko. You're correct. I understand that. Even one really long game is no comparison to a decade of JRPGs. So, like, yeah. I'm not committing to that on stream. Sorry. I just can't. I cannot. But yeah, that's what we got for now. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. It's been Viper's Viperland. See you all next time.